I think I am live. Hello. Hope it's working. For people who are watching this live stream, let me know if you can hear me okay and it looks okay and it's not weird. This is April 2025 Avenue X's live. Usual one on Thursday. Hello. Oh, first person. So, hello. Hi. Hear me? If you're hearing me okay, let me know, because last time was messy. This time I changed my computer. I just want everything to look okay. Hello from India. Harshana. A day in the spring. Oh, that's an interesting name. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, it's Easter, right? Coming up weekend. I never remember like which day is actually Easter. Now this is the fan I'm using today. It's actually not for renting, but for the fact that my camera just keeps hunting for focus. It keeps focusing on the things behind me because it thinks it's more interesting than me. And if I use manual, it will give me other problems. So I'm putting it on auto focusing, but then it keeps like jumping to the background because it's Panasonic, which is notorious for focusing. Therefore, I'm having this fan constantly just trying to let it know it should look at me. This is the focus, not the things behind me. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. It's just ridiculous these days, like for cameras. Can't believe it. And I'm not using a Sony, because Sony has brilliant focus, but then I'm not using Sony to do my live because Sony doesn't have the solution of a very good power supply for more than one battery's lifetime thing, and it heats up too easily. Mostly it's just battery thing, and I definitely don't have like iShow speeds, super high-end equipment for live streaming for 6 hours, and I don't know how they do that battery, but apparently they have a system which I don't have. So I have to use Panasonic, and it hunts for focus. I can't help it. Hello from people from everywhere. From Philippines, New York. Ooh. Why would I hold it against you? I've been to New York. I mean, as a city, it's fascinating. It's not like you gave birth to New York, okay? So it's not your fault. Moment, but you're forever. Yeah, somebody who watched that, if you enjoyed it, my pleasure. Yeah, New Year, okay, for people who just had New Year in India. Happy New Year. It's an interesting time to have New Year at that time of the year. Myanmar, oh, you're from Myanmar. Which part? Are you affected by the earthquake? It's a pretty large area, I think, that got hit by it pretty badly. Yeah, like basically if I sit closer, it will be better, but then I'll look huge. Like I have a huge head in this live stream. You're gonna look at my huge head for 3 hours. I don't think necessarily that looks that good. Although I stream not in very high definition, which is kind of on purpose, but also just in case things get choppy, because somehow uploading speed where I am is extremely unreliable. Even when you have really fast internet, it still is not really like guaranteed to be good. So if I make it 4K, which I can, it may just stutter too badly, so I couldn't do it for too long. Heats up. Sony cameras tend to have more heat problem than the other ones. But I think the newer ones are doing much better than before. But if you have it purely on battery, it tends to go a little bit too hot. Right now, the season, the weather is okay. When it gets hotter, it's not really. And also just Sony, like this old Panasonic camera I have, you can buy the plugin, which just basically is a like AC adapter. So you're literally taking the power from the socket. You're not using battery, so it can last forever. Like if doesn't break down. You can have 3-hour stream, it doesn't get affected by battery. But the Sony one doesn't have this thing. They don't make it. I think there are other ways you can like have a pack of batteries on the outside to power it. But anyway, I just like, I don't want to spend that money for it. Cool. Christine C. Seen it on IMAX 3D. Wow. Okay, so I've only seen it on IMAX 2D, normal 3D, and then Cinity LED. So IMAX 3D, I actually have no idea how it will look. I think it will be different from normal 3D, but it will also be different from IMAX 2D. Oh, cool. That's good to know you're safe in your area. That's good to know. Yeah. This year, it is bad. Earthquake is particularly bad. And even in astrology, I think people can tell this year is going to be bad for earthquake. And there's so much rumor online right now about there's going to be a huge one that everybody's waiting for it to happen, kind of, because geologists, everybody has said it's gotten to the point where it should happen, which is the big one that every how many years usually happens around Japan. That whole line along Japanese their east coast all the way down to like Taiwan, Philippines, like that whole line is getting too much pressure and it's on the brink of snap. If it happens this year, that would be the biggest thing probably in like recent 100 years of human history, kind of. It's like imminent, but you don't know when. Like when it happens, you can't, even if you cannot predict it to second, it kind of is worthless. That's the thing with earthquake, is you know it's coming. It's probably coming in a year or two's time. On which day, what second, minute, that's the like thing that it's worth $1 million if you can tell at what time you can prepare. Otherwise, it's, yeah, you know it's coming, but you don't know when, so it's kind of useless even knowing it's coming. It's very, very I don't know how many people are hearing about that, but there's this rumor about it's coming this summer. You just really don't want it to happen. But Earth has its own ways of dealing with things. You can't stop it from happening either. Hi from Singapore. Yeah, I used to play Qing. Yeah, it's a lot of trouble. See the camera? It just loves doing it. I have to hold it like all the time, just so that it doesn't have a background, so that it doesn't hunt for, like, it doesn't look at this side, because I think it's boring. It's just wall, and it cannot focus on interesting things. And this side has more detail, so it just keeps going to see. Panasonic. It's big ears. Figure it out. Holy. Do you have any plans for your online shop? I'm kind of like just letting it sit idle. Like, I mean, you can still order things that I have on there, but in terms of actually putting full energy into it, doing stuff and then making new stuff and shipping them out, right now I'm just not in the mood. Also, first, there's nothing that inspires me to make new stuff because, you know, like Chinese Dramaland, basically, the last good time I've seen it is 2021. Ever since then, it's just downhill from there. Okay? And I can't even be bothered to pick up my pen to do anything because it's just so not inspiring. That's the fact, honestly. Second, Canada Post has becoming shittier since then. I don't know how many Canadians are here, but you know, like last year, like the strike, and this year coming up May, they're gonna do another big strike and whatever. Like, there's no reliable way to ship anything out of Canada that actually is reasonably priced and can be relied on. It's that bad. Unless I make everything digital. Which is like, it does not matter anymore. You just pay money, you get the download and stuff. I mean, it could be something that I do, but I'm not a professional digital content maker. Like can't compete with Etsy. You know, like Etsy have so many of such accounts that sells digital planners, digital whatever. And honestly, I don't think it's one person doing it. It's more like, I I don't know, they outsourced it to somebody who do like a million things and they sell them in packages. Anyway, so that's not really doable either. But besides this year, you know, like ever since the whole tariff thing that has just go crazy right now, right? Like the whole world is like, nobody has any idea about how much anything would cost tomorrow. Anybody who's doing trade in the world, whether you're shipping things in to Canada from China or you're shipping things out from Canada to the world, nobody knows what it's gonna cost tomorrow. Whether your thing is gonna get held at custom, it's gonna get to anybody, and by the time it get to you or to anyone else, do they have to pay double? Like nobody knows what's going on. So like right now it's just not the best time for me when I'm in Canada to do that type of business. I mean, if I'm in China and I'm in Shenzhen, Fujian, Zhejiang, any of those provinces doing any type of trade, I'm having the best time. Because literally, because of the tariff thing, right? Suddenly you get more quotes and orders because people are panicking. And that they also found that everything is made in China. So they come and get orders. So for the Chinese manufacturers, actually they're having a very good time. How weird is that, right? So my shop is like, it's so, and also Canada Post has become so ridiculous that you cannot ship things in leather mail that's not leather. I mean, like, I don't know how good they can get at detecting it, but say if you ship a postcard in a letter, technically, when they find it out, they can refuse. You have to be actually sending letters. And if you don't, like, if it's anything like a postcard, like a bookmark, any of those things, just a sheet of things, but it's not leather, they find it, X-ray, I don't know how, they will send it back to you. They force you to send it by parcel, which is a lot more expensive and often is like not as reliable. So I just love it. You know, Canada has a system set up to definitely not help e-commerce at all. Like they don't want you to do it. I don't know, like the whole, it's, you know, like sometimes you feel the best thing about being Chinese or living in China is everybody is so practical that they do anything to get money. And anything that helps facilitate them doing businesses more efficiently and easier at lower cost, every human being automatically assume that is everyone, like everyone would just go for that. Nobody would even stop and ask why. Whatever business you're in, it's like if this way doing it is going to be more efficient and going to get us more money and easier and make everybody's life better, I'm going to immediately go and implement it. Like when I think about it, 6 a.m., it's down 6 p.m. Moving on to the next day. That's how it works in China. Whereas everywhere else in the world, like people actually don't think like that. I mean, Canada is the perfect example of like e-commerce. It does not exist here. Hi, in case you have noticed. This, see how bad it is? Panasonic, really. Folks, nope, it does not like it. I don't know why. Focus on the human. The human. Not the background, you stupid camera. August, good time to Chongqing? No. No. If you have to go second half of the year, try to do it. I'd say September can be very tricky too, because September could be just as hot as August. That's Chongqing. So technically, after the first week of October, so from the 8th of October to the end of October probably is the best time. Even November isn't too bad, but it's starting to get chilly. September can be hot, can be acceptable, depending on if you are on a lucky year. From June to August, try avoid Chongqing. Particularly July and August. Okay? And avoid the first week of October because that's national holiday. So you have, let's say, second half of September or the last 2/3 of October probably is the best time. Even November wouldn't be too bad. December is no, because it's starting to get too wet and cold. That's don't come, don't go to Chongqing August. No, you don't want to do that. You don't definitely want to do that. No, okay? Usually, like, I haven't seen a good August in my lifetime. That's how bad it is, okay? It's like, at least you get 2 weeks continuous, even more, like 20 days, 38, 40 degrees every day with 80% humidity. Yeah, I don't think anyone would like that type of weather, okay? Any thoughts on Guangyuan? It's been updating too slowly. I can't even form an opinion. Hi, Perth, Australia person. I've got a good friend who's immigrated there last year. No, not Perth. I think they moved to Sydney. But they I have a feeling they're going to be there for a few years and then go back to China. Light in the background. I don't know, because usually I use this camera. Usually it doesn't count, but like since last time I started to do this again, I didn't change any settings. I don't know why. Maybe it's getting old. Wow, really? India, Amazon. Okay, interesting. Turn off the light, let's see. But usually turning off the light will make things look uglier, you know? Let's just see. I'll just turn this off. Let's see if it hunts again. Because right now it definitely is not focusing on me again, right? It's focusing on the background. Look at me, camera. Does it, you see? It likes the background. It just thinks, I don't know, like these things are more interesting than me. Unbelievable. So it's not the lights, okay? Let me try this. I'm gonna move it to MF. So I'm gonna turn it on manual. Then it could not autofocus. If I change things, it would not be able to change. But at least, Is it me? Probably here is like the tight focus thing. Whatever. So it's on manual. It's not gonna hunt anymore. But then if I move out of the zone, it's gonna blur, whatever. Turn off the light. Okay, anything. 琅琊榜 animation series. I think it is 正午阳光 giving copyright to the company doing it, but it's not themselves doing it. But they gave the copyright, they sold it to an animation company that's gonna do it. And I think it's the same company that did the lion dancing kid animation, if I haven't remembered it wrong. But that animation is actually quite controversial in China, so I don't know like if it's a good thing, but animation is gonna take a long time. Once you get stuff like down, you start to make it, it's gonna take a long time. So quite a few years to come. We're not gonna see it this year or next. People do use cash, but then if you don't bring any cash, you're not gonna get into any trouble. I still recommend you just because now for foreign travelers, it's very easy to set up WeChat Alipay, because now with the 240-hour visa thing, it's almost like you get to the airport and people will help you get it down, even if you haven't gotten it down before you left. And also, like, there's so many videos on YouTube, just search how to do it. And technically speaking, you don't need to get any paper money going in China, because frankly speaking, I can't think of any places that will need to use paper bill and not digital currency. You'd be like, even if you just meet a beggar on the street, which is very rare, but if you come across somebody who's begging, they also beg with WeChat. That's how it works. Because beggars now get digital money. They don't get paper money either. So like that's the only place I can think of that you have to use paper money previously, but now not even that is relevant anymore. Although you don't really come across beggars that easily in China now, but if you happen to, because I've run into one person, I think, and then they have WeChat. It's like a WeChat beggar. Okay, let me see if I need to adjust my camera a little bit, because I feel it's not leveled. It's on a very weird octopus tripod. I want Langyabang 3 too to come out, but right now I feel it's not the best time for the company. 正午阳光 is not doing very well. From what I heard, rumors within the industry, it's been doing really poorly financially for the last couple of years. So their priority right now is to get money. They probably really still want to do Langyabang, but long period dramas right now is, even when it has this famous IP and also has this famous company, it's no guarantee that they put that much money and time and effort into making it, whether it can make the money back. So that may be the reason why it's being really slowly moving on. Yeah. So if 正午阳光 is not doing well, right, then Nirvana and Fire 3 is is like, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, homeless people use that too. Like, it's weird, but it's true. Like, and also, like, you buy any tiny thing from a tiny makeshift shop that you come across on a night market, on the street, on the sidewalk. Somebody is just randomly selling whatever they have from, say, a village they come from. They just like cabbage, tomato, strawberry, whatever, right? Everybody has the WeChat Pay thing. Nobody actually needs to, no credit card. It's just like they take out their phone and then you just scan them and then you just send money to them and it's done. Like, that's how it's done in China. Now, I don't think people don't have time to watch long dramas. That's totally not true. It has nothing to do with how long an episode is. It really is how good your story is. If you're a good story, you chop it up in 5 minutes per section, it's still nice. 30 minutes per section, it's still nice. 1 hour and 30 minutes, it's still nice. Really, it only matters if it's a good story. It has nothing to do with length, and I find it fascinating that that so many platforms have this misunderstanding of people just don't want to watch long things. It has nothing to do with that. It's because what they do is crap. That's why people don't watch it. It's not because it's long or short. Sorry, I'm adjusting this because okay, it's pushing it back a bit. Nope. Because when I adjust, I'm too far away, so I can't actually see it. It's always at this awkward distance. I just have to test and then play with it. Yeah, about here. Equipment. So, foreigners, I think there are rules about what hotel can take foreigners, and that's true. You have to, before you travel, just check with the whatever booking website and agency or any, like, just look on internet, because there are plenty of foreigners who have traveled to China, so they know what's the rules. There is the rule that there are certain hotels that don't have the license to host foreign people, so you can't really book them. That part is true. You do have to make sure that you are well set. Yeah, I know that is true. Because because I am not foreigner, so I never needed to do that. So I have no idea how actually it gets, like, which hotel, what kind of hotel has that, and that needs to get researched, yes. Also, like, phone, just make sure you get, like, whatever phone thing, internet, that it works if you need VPN. Or sometimes I think if you're foreign and you have the roaming thing on and your eSIM, you don't get blocked for using the foreign whatever, like accessing to Google, for example. But just in case, right, there are VPN. Like I've talked about VPN previously. There are a couple of VPN that's pretty reliable, like the Let's VPN and VPN.ac. These two are pretty reliable, at least that they are the ones I use. So these things you probably need to research. But yeah, it's been made so easy since last year that right now probably is a pretty good time to travel to China, money-wise and experience-wise, and also it's just you don't even need to do much, right? 10 days you get. And also, like, if you hop out of, I think because the speed guy, Darren guy, he did the same thing, which is he stayed in China to the full maximum hours he's allowed on this like temporary visa, and he walked out of China mainland to Hong Kong for a day or two. So he had a Hong Kong section that day live stream, and then he went back to Shenzhen. And basically when the 144 or 240 hours gets used, you can exit China and then come back, and it sort of restart your count for the days you can stay. So that's why he did that thing. So he left and then came back and did 2 more live stream or something. Like whether the currency thing is okay, the USD or Canadian dollars, I mean, it fluctuates, but still things are pretty cheap in comparison. Which, like, whether it's 7 to 1 USD to Chinese money, or 7.2 to 1, or it's 6.8 to 1, it really does not make that much of a difference when you spend the money in China. It's still cheap. So if anybody wants to travel to China, yeah, probably this year is a pretty good time. I know a lot of people will be doing it, because ever since that famous guy and did a whole week of whatever live streaming in China, now it's like Chongqing is gonna get more people. Can't imagine how bad it's gonna be. Coming up May the 1st will be the first big holiday after that. I just foresee really bad crowd in Chongqing. Shorts and TikTok are much popular than YouTube now. Yeah, it is what it is. It always has been. Ever since the short video platform came around, right? They have grabbed a lot of people's attention, and it is basically practically to do with how people use the thing. It may not have anything to do with content being good or bad. Also, it has a little bit of that hijacking how your brain works thing going on in the background. People have very chopped up time, right? They work for a while and then they go out for a smoke. They go to the loo. They have like half an hour break or something like that. So their time is chopped up very much like that. So the short content kind of fits into that type of lifestyle. Like you have a couple of minutes here waiting for the train to come, whatever. So it kind of fits into how people live better than, say, long form video. But and also people use TikTok for different things. I think you learn stuff. If you really want to learn stuff, you still need long form on YouTube, teaching you from cooking to programming to philosophy to whatever, to studies, like how to study efficiently. You still need YouTube, that type of long form, and it's used for that purpose. But then if you just need a quick kill 5 minutes while I'm waiting for the train, you definitely are not gonna use YouTube to do that. So it's that people just live in that way. So that's why, and also people use TikTok when they do content on TikTok. They don't do it like how they do it on YouTube. I think TikTok now is often used very much like either if you're a personal creator, that's one thing, but if you are actually creating a brand it's more it's more live stream, or sometimes more like the new version of TV selling whatever, you know, like those TV shows that sells you ridiculous but useless things. Yes, some people just keep buying them, and you don't do that on YouTube. It's just not in the ecosystem. But like on TikTok, it's just so normal, right? Like the whole account can be just about selling stuff, like whatever stuff they make, and that's totally acceptable. And it's set up for the purpose of just selling that one product. And so people, again, go on TikTok for that purpose. It's not the same as YouTube. They have their own, you know, everybody has, every niche or every type of platform, they have their own use, really. We've talked half an hour and not even ever gotten into Dramaland. That's how boring Dramaland has been recently. Like the Chinese dramas that are ongoing right now, I kind of have dabbled into all of them a little bit, and it's just like, you know, you don't even really have the desire to go into depth of any of them. It's just what it is. It's like, yeah, it's like watchable, but then if you don't watch it, you're not missing much either. I don't know. For Prisoner of Beauty, somebody asked if it's gonna air. I mean, Tencent probably really want to check it out now. And if there's no big problem coming from Romance of like Demon Hunter after it has been aired for a week now, probably they will. Like I feel Tencent probably really want to check it out. So it could very well happen. Doing TV selling. Selling what? You know, like what only makes sense for me to do if I'm selling it is I'm in China. And I'm literally sitting right next to my supplier and manufacturer and I'm selling things. Like that makes sense. I mean, which I can do, but it depends on what it is and whether I want to sell it. It kind of like, I'm in Winnipeg. What am I gonna sell? Sand, snow, snake, wheat, flower. What does, I don't know, apple? Because they do a lot of apples here. And then they just farm grains. Winnipeg also produces like meat, or this farm. What else does it produce? Beishang, I watched a little bit, couldn't stand it, so I jumped, like I hopped on, hopped right off. So, Beishang, no, I watched it a little bit, but no, couldn't bother. I know the Tangerine thing. I've seen so many people in the live in the comment section under my video urging me to watch it. I've watched parts of it. It's pretty well made. I'm not watching it because first is watching Korean dramas is more demanding on me than watching Chinese dramas because I have to look at subtitles. Okay, so I can't look away. That's one thing. So if I watch it, it's, for example, 16 hours runtime of the whole thing, I'm gonna have to stare at the screen for 16 hours. So it's more demanding on my end. Second, I truly, honestly don't want to watch a drama that's done by, let's say, very professional drama makers. To the point that I think it fits the 2020 standard and I'm satisfied with it. That's not from China. Because then I have to go and watch 30 piled up Chinese dramas that are all produced below the reasonable standard, and it would just make me feel even less good about my existence and why the F my channel exists in the first place. Literally, it is that comparison makes you want to jump off a cliff thing that's gonna happen, and I know. Because if we put, let's say, message and ideas and whatever real world concerns behind just looking at video drama productions with very hard standard industrial, like not putting up like subjective preference into it, just like hard standard about, do the people making the drama know what they're doing? Do they understand how music works with visual, how editing pacing works, lens choices, coverage angles, move the camera or not, how to cover a scene, how to capture performance, how do you cut it between scenes, how do you pace episode between episodes. You look at those, literally does not matter what is the story you're telling, but like industry standard and years of people's work that have arrived at a handbook of how to do visual storytelling. For example, why do you have axis? Why do you not jump axis? If you do jump axis, what's the reason behind it? Do you have any motivation for moving the camera in this shot from this angle? Do you shoot a person from side or like face, and do they look at the camera? Do they look up? Like, is the camera from lower or from higher? Like, all these things have a reason. And it has been worked out pretty well by humans by this point of why you should shoot a scene, this particular story at this particular moment with this particular design in mind. You do it this way, not that way. And K-dramas, like good K-dramas, not all of them, but K-dramas still do that a lot more, let's say, easy for me to swallow and up to your expectation. Like a lot of unspoken rules, but you just assume everybody knows you should be doing that. But then in Chinese Dramaland, you often come across things you're like, I really doubt, is there anyone on this crew who actually ever got 1 minute of education in any form of film school, storytelling? Like, did they even take a course in a college that actually is about storytelling on camera? Because it's often being produced at such standard that you're like speechless about, you don't even know where to start renting because nothing is making sense, and they just keep putting out this type of work in China, you know? So in comparison, there's one reason why I don't really want to watch good Korean dramas, because it's just gonna make me, I'm gonna suffer for another half a month or a month for no good reason, and nobody's gonna compensate me with that because I'm like, oh my god, see? And then you go back and watch Chinese drama, you're like, holy shit, why, right? It's too much pain. And I've only looked at a couple of clips of the Tangerine drama, and I'm already like, maybe there are only a handful of people in Chinese drama right now who can actually make similar quality storytelling. And then within that handful of people, maybe only one person would ever gotten an opportunity now under the whatever current market condition to actually get it made. And then that person also need to be bloody lucky. By the end of that, it actually gets aired. No actors on board had a house clapping that resulting in AI face swapping or just literally tank the whole thing. And then by the time all that is good, when the platform releases it, you hope the platform doesn't do stupid things. And we have all that. It's like, so every time I look at a really good K-drama, I'm like, like my heart, right? So that's why I refrain from watching K-drama, is because I don't wanna just get, oh my god, this is not gonna happen to Chinese drama in like the next 10 years. It's just gonna make me feel desperate. Okay. It is very good, I know, the Tangerine drama. And I think that clip, like this one clip I watched, which is intercutting between multiple scenes of the girl running towards the boy during their different time in their life, as a kid, as a high schooler, as an adult. And it's just like this one extended scene of her running under different conditions, and the guy's on the other end, and there's a level of obviously music and editing and then slow motion use. And it's just like an example of, in 2020, with all the technology you have in hand, like how you tell a story visually effectively within the time frame. I give you 20 seconds, I give you half a minute. You give me a scene that, even though for people who've no idea about the background story of the two characters or feature in this, just give me 30 seconds, give me a sequence that make me feel, wow. I instantly get what you're trying to do and the emotion behind characters. You don't know anything about them. Like, I haven't watched the drama. I just look at that sequence. I'm like, you're not gonna get that in Chinese Dramaland. Okay, nobody is making Chinese dramas with that kind of, let's try to make it good with visual language. Nobody even bothered to put that effort into telling a story in Chinese Dramaland. That's the condition we have now in Chinese dramas. That's why I like almost don't want to watch the Korean dramas for that reason, because I know when I watch it, I'm just gonna be more disappointed with like everything I see in Chinese Dramaland. So, reason for me not watching it. Maybe I'll wait for a bit, like next year or something, when it's far behind, like time has moved on, then I go and watch it. But I know like I've looked at enough snippets, including mother and daughter story, including like a couple of like the ring gets thrown and then lost in the field, and like that whole sort of like later go and find it, like all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna see that in Chinese Dramaland currently. So just for my own mental peace, right? That's why I'm not watching it. Waiting for Li Yifeng to come back, and it's not coming back. Don't wait. Find someone else to ship or to like. Don't. You know, like for like the whole prostitution thing. I don't see him coming back in foreseeable future. Really, not. And by the time, if say it becomes irrelevant in 10 years' time, he's an old man now. And then for entertainment business, okay, entertainment business is never short of pretty young people. It's like endless supply of meat. And who cares about old meat? Everybody wants fresh meat. It's gonna be irrelevant. Don't wait. Any of those canceled and disappeared people, just, you should move on. They're not coming back. Even the young ones that are coming out, new ones, they're competing, like headbutting each other to death. You think even the people, the newcomers, whoever's gotten a little bit popularity, these people are not gonna want to let the old cured sausages and meat to come back and get a cut of their cake. They're gonna do everything to stop them from coming back. Okay, so just let it go. So that's Chinese dramas. The only drama recently I've seen from China that has a little bit ambition in, let's say, doing visual storytelling is Such a Good Love from Tencent. 值得爱, that just finished yesterday with sort of paying money thing. 26 episodes, Tencent, Wang Yuwen, Wang Anyu. And it's written by two scriptwriters who are literally the two characters in the drama. They're writing their own story. So basically, this story is based on real life story of two people. They're still working together, but they have really complicated sort of lifelong love-hate relationship. And so in the story, the two characters are actually based on the two writers of this drama script. So that's the background story. If you have to say which one has a little bit ambition in terms of we are actually doing a visual storytelling piece, let's use maximum to the advantage of what naturally is visual storytelling. Such a Good Love definitely did a much better, more interesting, at least I can tell the people who are making it have a level of understanding of the traditions in this form of art, and then they have their own expression. Now, whether it's all very good, or let's say whether there are things to be done better or improved or questionable here and there, yes, it's not perfect, but it's at least a lot more interesting than all the boring Chinese romantic contemporary dramas you've seen. That's been constantly chucked out by platforms and it looks like copy paste and nothing worth even like discussing ever come out of it. And this one, at least some parts of it is, I'm like, oh, I didn't know Chinese drama makers still have this level of ambition, or at least they still want to try, because I thought everybody has given up. So 值得爱 is in its expression, let's say, a lot more closer to how a story usually gets told in cinema. instead of in drama in China. Okay, like if we put that in this, the way they use visual and how they edit and tell story, and even there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, camera straight on looking at the actors. They're in the story and then they suddenly turn around and look at the camera and they're addressing the audiences directly, because this is a semi-autobiography type of script of the two writers. So the two characters in the story, the two actors are playing them. So in a way, they write their own story. So they are acting as the fictional characters, but at the same time, they're acting as the two writers. So there's a lot of fourth wall breaking that happens with the camera and the actor straight looking in the camera and talking to you from future time. For example, it's a 2007 scene, but suddenly the actor turns and it's like the 2025 writer and the character in 2025 addressing that, 18 years later. When I look back, when I was 2007 person, this is what I think. Like, it has a lot of those things. And then within the time of the scene of that place, story taking place, again, they use camera and use editing in a very cinematic way. They don't use it as the standard drama way. And in that sense, I think it's a more interesting work to look at. Also, I think they did tune the acting style of the main actors. Again, closer to cinematic narrative than dramatic storytelling style. So I enjoy that because really nobody is doing it. This is the only drama I've seen in recent years that has done it in this way. It makes it stand out as its own. Now, whether it's well done in everything, I don't think so, but I do appreciate this drama because it at least do something that's personal, that's its own. It doesn't follow everyone's suit, and it clearly is done by people who have their own ideas about how to tell stories. Instead of let's just like do it like a mass production line, like every other drama. So I think Such a Good Love is worth checking out. I don't think it works on everyone. I don't think everyone would love how the story progresses, but I think you will find it very different from most of the other Chinese dramas you've come across in the last 5 years or something like that. I also think they picked really good. Particularly, I think they picked Wang Anyu as the male lead character in Such a Good Love. That's a very good choice. Wang Yuwen is not bad, but in comparison to Wang Anyu, I feel like she is probably replaceable. In terms of changing her to another actress, could still see it work in this way. But it's very hard for me to picture if they change the actor from Wang Anyu to any other guy of his age that would actually make the story work the way it worked. I do like him personally, but it has more to do with the fact that he really, like, the character really suits him and he really suits the character. And also when he plays the role, and probably that's due to director. I think he performed this character very differently compared to all the other roles he's done before. Like, at least all the dramas I've seen him in, whether it's like idol fantasy like The Last Immortal, or the one with Hu Yitian where he plays a supporting role, or the couple of main role drama he's done with other actresses, like just young romantic dramas. In comparison, I think he did the best performance in Such a Good Love up to this point in his career. And it's actually not easy to do character, and it does cross like such a long time span and different stages. I'm really happy. I'm really happy they picked him, and he did a really good job. So Such a Good Love didn't do super well, because right now there's no drama doing super well really in China, statistically speaking, but it's worth trying out. So if you haven't tried Such a Good Love on Tencent, 26 episodes, contemporary drama, I highly recommend you check it out a bit. And I don't think it's gonna make you, like, take you too much time. Like, first 10 minutes into the drama, you're gonna easily tell this is done by a group of storytellers and drama makers who have, let's say, a little bit more ambition and different way of thinking about storytelling than the standard Chinese produced by the three main platform romantic contemporary drama makers. Those people, like most of the standard romantic Chinese contemporary dramas are so dead, so without innovation, love, passion. They so just are chucking stuff out like McDonald's or Nestle ice creams, right? It's like everything tastes exactly the same. It's done by the same process. It's just easy to get calories, but everybody looks the same. There's really nothing individual, interesting about any of those things. This one is different. Like you can tell, first 10 minutes, that's all you need for Such a Good Love to tell like they do have their own ambition. And then and also like after knowing that the story is actually based on real life people who wrote the story, the scriptwriters are the two main characters in the story. You kind of like, I knew that by episode 6 or 7, because before that I didn't know this. I researched it later, and I in a way kind of like, maybe that's why like the story feels different from all those adapted from web novel love stories that are so ungrounded and just somehow always feel fake. There's a level of truth and relatability in Such a Good Love because it's based on real people's life. And obviously the whole 2007, 2008, they went to Beijing. At that age is exactly what I did with my own life. Exact same time, like the fact the girl went to Beijing at the end of 2007 is exactly when I went to Beijing and also worked in drama making industry. And they were working in film, like they tried to be filmmakers. So it's like really funny. And particularly the place they live in, which is not true. Like they make up a place, it's not real. Where it's located physically in Beijing is where every day I would just literally walk or bus past. And that's a very central part in the East Beijing. Anyway, I'm just saying, just that part adds a little bit sort of familiarity to me. So when I watch it, I can sense like a level of familiarity, I'd say. But anyway, it's quite different from other dramas. I wouldn't say it's the best drama. It's not a masterpiece of anything, but I enjoyed it a lot. And it's one of the most unique contemporary romantic drama I've seen China has produced in the last how many years. So I would highly recommend you check it out a bit. Like you may like it, may not like it, but I don't think you will think it's boring or just another one. It really isn't just another one. It just looks so different from every other romantic drama you have seen from Chinese Dramaland. Heard Bailu is good in Northward. No. If you want my opinion. Honestly, she hasn't been good in anything for years. That's also my honest opinion. Such a Good Love is not the perfect thing, I think, but then I'd rather watch this type of drama than completely. Okay, what time is it? Let's talk about currently the Demon Hunter, because I've been watching it. Demon Hunter Romance, and not long ago just finished, because I made a video about it. 燕会时, right? The Glory, right? That just finished airing about 2 weeks ago, something like that. There are a couple of contemporary dramas like the 无云之上, Breaking the Shadows by Sun Li, and then the finished airing Playing Go by Wang Baoqiang. And so that's the crime story. Also a little bit of the Sandstorm, which is 沙尘暴, another crime drama on Youku. Like we can all mention those because I've definitely watched some of it, like not all of it. So I do have some ideas about what they are. Sydney, Australia. Hello. What? Oh yeah. Is it 1:30 a.m.? Why are you up? Wesley, why are you up? You should be sleeping. Even when it's Friday, you presumably still have to go to school or like work. Or you don't, because it's Easter. I have no idea actually how people have their holidays for Easter. Go to sleep. So let's just finish Such a Good Love and we'll talk about the other couple of period dramas. yes, the recent couple, like that's such a good love for the second half starts to get a little bit weird. That's one thing. It has multiple supporting roles lines that are weird. The current timeline, so it has a two parallel timeline. One is the main couple. The other is like a supporting couple, but in 2025. So it's like a contrasting group of, let's say 18 years ago, people's value about love and like what love means and relationship means, as opposed to these days youngsters in their early 20s. So they're born after 2000. What's their value? So those two groups are contrasting each other. I like the idea, but I think it could be used better or worked better. And also there's the second couple in Such a Good Love, which is the fitness trainer guy and the girl who with glasses on, right? That's the easiest way to tell. That their storyline is weird. Okay, their storyline is like sometimes I think more dramatic than the most melodrama, dog blood drama that I've seen. And it got to the point where it becomes really unbelievable. And I have to say that part is very unbelievable. And also they suggested at the end, the last episode of the drama, they didn't tell you exactly what happened between these two people, but something pretty bad probably happened. And it's only in the main character's OS that you hear. They said many years ago they found out that was the night when their relationship ended. But they didn't know. They saw them off like in the taxi or a car, and then they never met again. And then they said off camera that that was the last night of them. And that leaves a lot of space for so what happened that night? Did they break up? Did they murder each other? Like what happened? Because it sounds like pretty serious. And also the type of relationship they have in the story, the second lead couple in Such a Good Love, is weird. There's so many things along their line that could have happened and literally make them like not still being together in such a weird way, but they are. And it is a bit too much, I think. It is too dramatic. I don't quite believe that. I don't have any problems with the acting of the actors per se. It's just the script is, huh? So that's the part I don't quite get. I feel the script of Such a Good Love could get even better worked at. And in a way, also, I think the two leads, although I think Wang Anyu did a really good job, definitely exceeding my expectation, they are both still not skilled enough or experienced enough actors. They both are actually too young. I know it's weird, but they're playing very young kids, like early 20s into their early 40s type of situation. But I feel the two actors, whether the look, like how youthful they both look, the skin, they just look like they're in early 20s. So when they play like close to 40, it's not that convincing. Also, like as actors, in terms of their own experience with life, and also just how good they are at acting, both of them are still a little bit lacking. Not yet to the full, like say, fulfilling the 100% requirement of their characters in the story. These two characters need to be played by even better actors. And they're not yet there. Like I feel for Such a Good Love. Although it's already better than most of the stuff I've seen in recent years in terms of just as a contemporary romantic story, how it's done, right? And how, in many ways, very honest it is about being human. But still, it's not good enough, I think, for me, for these two actors. So that's Wang Yuan and Wang Anyu in Such a Good Love. But still, it's worth checking out. I highly recommend you check out a bit. It's one of those more interesting Chinese dramas, and I definitely didn't see it coming. I had a good feeling when it released its trailer, and it turned out to be better than I expected, so I'm happy about that. Now let's talk about currently airing, because it's currently airing, we can quickly mention that the airdropped Zuer drama on Iqiyi, the 36 episodes, 志怪, which is a genre that's famous in Chinese literature history very early on. More than 1,000 years ago, it became a genre of writing that's very popular in folklore. It's like folklore. It's about demons, 妖怪, all those things that are supernatural. And people write those type of stories, and it's often worked into local lores or geographic whatever like records of places. So this is a long history genre, and the drama is very much set in Tang Dynasty, and it's the famous for during Tang Dynasty literature genre story, 志怪, monsters, demons, 妖怪, all that type of legend, supernatural stuff. So Demon Hunter's Romance, 无忧渡, it was actually shot 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It could have come out a lot earlier, but Song Zuer's tax problem, as most people know, happened, and it got basically this drama suspended in mid-air. And it actually spent, like, there was a lot of money invested in this production. They got Lin Yufen back, which is this very famous female director who did Love and Destiny. Everybody watching my channel long enough know. Okay, and then she also directed many other very famous dramas, and she's known for being very good at directing human interactions, romantic little very fine things that flows between characters. She's very good at doing that. So all in all, when it got produced back in the days when it got shot, it was a highly hopeful project from Iqiyi, but then it ran into the Song Zuer situation, so it got suspended for a year or two, pretty much 2 years, I think, until airdropped a few days ago on Iqiyi. Whether it means Song Zuer is completely cleared is not clear, because the only thing that you can look for that is a sign of the fact that she is not to be blamed by any tax problems she had, and it has gone through investigation and it's all good. Like, the only sign that can tell you it is definitely cleared is if she gets new offers. If she signs up a new drama by a new company, and it gets publicized, that means she's good to go, and whatever was going on before is cleared. If she doesn't sign up with any new projects, and her older projects that already got filmed got released, it's not 100% guaranteed that she's all cleared. Now, one of the reasons is pretty much from last year. The major stream platforms, content platforms, Iqiyi, Youku, Tencent, they're all doing so badly that they pretty much cut most of their new projects off. Like, they stopped making new stuff. And they are in such bad shape that, in a way, I think, because in terms of, let's say, government on top trying to adjust things and make everything sort of like float and balance, because certain studios, platforms are doing so badly that there is possibility of them saying, okay, since you made it before this whole thing happened, and if you don't let those drama out, it will be a complete loss on their book. There's no money coming back, like there's no return of investment at all. It's just gonna make the situation worse when so many of them are like on the brink of like where we can't do it anymore. Therefore, there's a possibility of the policy loosening a little bit, saying, okay, so you've done it before, and it would be just like just make it easier for everybody who's on the brink of like going starving to at least, you know, get a little bit back. So there's a possibility of those dramas getting released, because yes, they technically were all made before that thing happened, and those platforms are doing so badly that they were like, they need help. Otherwise, it's just like, do you want me to die like faster than you can imagine? So there is a possibility of the policy is slightly giving it a little bit wiggling room to say, okay, we let it out. But you see, the drama didn't get any promotion. It airdropped. There's no like the first couple of episodes, I don't think there's any ad in it. And later, when it got a little bit hotter, maybe people started to do it. But the thing is, the platforms are not trying to like when they first made those dramas, right? They definitely had bigger hopes for it to make money. But right now, they were like, we are hoping to get less of a loss. Like, we definitely already have lost, but let's just lessen it a little bit, because like it's so bad. Like, literally, drama making right now is so bad in China. Nobody is Like there's barely any new things being made compared to previous years, and so many dead studios and companies. The industry kind of needs a little bit help. So I think there's a level of when you see those dramas getting dropped out like this, or the platforms start to do it, it may be a thing of they just have to do it, and then it's better than not doing it, and then policy-wise they let it happen, not just making everybody just die, like not giving you any backup, any way to go back. So that does not mean Song Zuer is all good now. You have to wait till like if she's definitely for sure signed up for new projects, that will mean it's all cleared. And also this thing, I think, when the tax problems get confirmation from the officials of the tax bureau, when they send out an announcement about who did what, it usually is the last step. If you've made some mistake, but you made up with it, or it got cleared in investigation, then there will never be a formal, final announcement from the official tax bureau, because it literally got mended before the last step. The couple of people who got definitively cancelled due to tax problem in China are the people who didn't do, like even when they get warned, they didn't do anything. They really ran out of all their options and all the steps of you get warning once, you get warning twice, you still don't do anything, we warn you again, you still don't do anything, we let everybody know you've effed up and you're dead. So that is like usually how it does. But Song Zuer's thing is it didn't get to that step. I think she got reported by people within her own company due to some very drama, like bigger than, like more dramatic than drama, like dog blood literally, that happened within her own family, because she has a lot of family members who's in her business, which is a really bad idea, okay? This happens multiple times to entertainment people, but they never learn. Anyway, it's a lot of family bad karma and within the families, people's problems that got manifested into the tax problem. It could be the fact that there was some problem, but then again, with investigation, they may find out she has very little to do with it, or eventually it got made up. So it didn't get to the last step when the tax bureau would have to come out and officially declare this person has done this wrong and they got this amount of penalty. It may just got stopped before that happened. Therefore, that's why there's no definitive words from an official channel saying what has happened, because it hasn't gotten to the stage of it has to be declared in that way. And that may be why she's still savable. And now what all you need to know is wait till her get signed to a new drama. If that happens, that means probably it's all good. Now she definitely gets affected by it, and she got her career stopped for a few years, but it could still like work in long term, like get it back. If no new things has happened after this, that probably means shit is real, and that means end of stuff for her. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of rumors online, but it's not yet fully confirmed. And yes, like I think her company or something had a statement of saying she's been cleared. It's really not anything like yeah, but you're still waiting for the perfect signal, which is she signed up with new stuff. If that happens, that means probably it's all good. Otherwise, so we're still waiting for it. But the older dramas that got put out, right? There are reasons of platforms are doing so badly that policy-wise, they probably want to ease it for them a little bit. There are also reasons she's got major productions, like the 正午阳光 one, that has a lot of other people's hand in it. It's not just 正午阳光's production. It is made in China, 时代剧, which covers from the 80s, 90s to like now. It is about Chinese manufacturing. It's big team, proper team. It got support from whatever official thing. Yeah, the whole theme of the story, and even 正午阳光 and the company behind it, which is a major company that has a lot of power, and it's a different like story for another time. So for her Made in China, a contemporary drama with Zhang Xingcheng, that drama probably has too many people's tied into it that it has to come out. And these people would have enough power behind the scene to say it cannot be completely frozen and be cancelled. It needs to come out, whatever. So there are definitely people behind her pushing and trying to put her back, and for whatever reason. And then Zuer does come from a background where in her family there are a lot of connections to very established people in the industry. She's definitely not like randomly dropped out of the nowhere. A pretty kid who's a child star who played哪吒, She played哪吒, in case people didn't know. So the whole sort of like哪吒has more than one life and she can get reborn is kind of like really funny in this sense. So she has a lot of connections in the industry, family background. Also, she's got projects that have a lot of people's interest in. That is now in halt and they want it to come out. So that may make her situation different from other, say, tax problem actors. So if Prisoner of Beauty gets released, if Made in China gets released, and then she gets signed up with new stuff, that would mean she's back. Otherwise, it's until that happens. I don't know. But you have to wait till really confirmation is she gets new offers. That means it's good. Otherwise, you don't know. You still cannot be 100% sure, even when her older stuff got released, right? It may just be these people cannot afford those dramas not to get released, and they have enough power to make it happen. But then afterwards, whether her as individual is going to be all cleared, we have to wait and see. And these things are they definitely always have more drama behind the scene than they let you know. If you think it's just about that, probably it's not. In terms of like how she got into the trouble in the first place is the whole thing of family business and getting your family member involved in the running of your career who are not professionals is a bad idea. How many, like within China and also globally, how many stars, right, who have completely gotten destroyed by the fact that their family members want a hand in dealing with their business and career, and they actually have no idea about how to do it, about how to go about it, but they just like most recent years would be Chris Wu, right? He's a classic example of, yeah, because his mother has a huge amount in the whole, how he basically, like the fall of Chris Wu had a lot to do with his mother. And Song Zuer's situation in that sense is similar. Like her mother has a lot in her professional business that may not be in her best interest. So Youku came out a week ago. I watched up to yesterday's episodes. I haven't watched today's. I would say if you watch the drama, it's unlikely to offend you as a crappy drama. It doesn't have any particularly crappy part, but it's unlikely to make you feel, oh, I really want to find out what happens next. It's a type of drama, yeah, I can watch it. Or if you don't watch it, nah. And you're likely to fall off the wagon along the way. Like I watched the first 6 episodes, 7, 8, and I start to find it's boring. But I still watch 2 more episodes, nothing really changes, improves, it's still boring. So right now I'm like, if this is 36 episodes, I probably would not continue because it's not engaging. I think it's not engaging. It's not bad, but it's not engaging. That's, as a story, that is that is what we'll do is. Song Zuer is better than a lot of actresses of her age, but she has limits. And even when she comes back fully in the industry, I find it's going to be extremely hard for her to develop her career. Because Song Zuer has a problem that is almost impossible for herself to overcome, which is she looks way too much like a kid. And it's nothing wrong with, she's pretty, okay? But whether it's her voice, her expressions, her face, like physically just that face, the way that you feel, you empathize with her, you feel the emotional sort of resonance with her, often has this feeling of you're not feeling for her as her being an adult woman. You're feeling for her as she being a kid. And it's like the parental love you feel when you see a really cute and lovely kid who got wronged and she's sad, and you feel that empathy with her. Like for her acting and her characters, often the love you feel for her comes from a little bit like parents to kids. Like she just has this kid face. And when she's sad, it's just like she breaks your heart, but she breaks your heart in a way that a kid breaks your heart, not an adult woman breaks your heart. And so for long-term development, as she gets older, if she still has that energy, it's just going to be very hard for her to... She needs to become like recognized as an adult woman, that energy. Just imagine Zhao Liying when she was very young, the baby-faced kid. But look at what Zhao Liying looks like now. She definitely has that adult woman energy now. Like she can threaten you, basically. Her aura, her presence has the sharp and offensive energy. Song Zuer is, she's very pretty, and she's a pretty good actress compared to a lot of her same age kids from her generation. She's pretty talented in it. But the one hardest thing for her to break through is to shed that thing that makes her look like a kid. And a lot of that comes from just naturally how she looks. She has very pretty eyes, but then her lower half of her face always gives you the feeling of a baby who is a little bit helpless, and she tends to open her mouth all the time. Like she doesn't close her mouth naturally because of her lip shape, whatever. And she always has this innocent kid feel that the older she gets, more it's gonna stop her from develop range in acting. And it's just what it is. And it's not just my opinion. A lot of people in the industry have spoken like actually pretty openly about, not just about her, but about being actor or actress who look too much like a kid. Even when they grow up and even when they become adult, they still have the kid look. That is really problematic for them to keep developing and getting roles and offers. They can very easily get boxed into this one role, and as time goes on, if they can outgrow that, they basically leave the industry. There are many examples in China previously and in other countries of child stars who just happen to always feel like a child, like the look of them or whatever, that as they grow older, they get out of the industry because they just cannot get any future offers for proper adult roles. Song Zuer has a little bit of that. But now I think the first thing is like she needs to get over the whole tax problem to even like let her basically being able to do things, right? To start with that, and then later see if there's like yeah, it's tough. It's just gonna be very tough for her. It's the reality of the industry. A lot of child stars no longer like work in an industry as they become older because of that. So that's her. And then for Ren Jialun, one of the reasons, honestly, that I can't really quite get into the relationship and the story of Wu Youdu is I look at Ren Jialun acting, I feel 钱真他妈好赚 Okay? How many people understand that? It's so easy to make money as Jialun. That's my I feel like he doesn't need to do anything. For years, he hasn't improved a bit of line delivery. It's still as bad as it has always been bad. I don't think he puts any training in anything. Like, I mean, apart from like the muscle suit you've seen in another drama a year or two ago. In this one, yes, he has a lot of fighting sequences, but if you look at how it got done, it's like, I mean, he can basically work with Xing Yunlai together and they just do posing for fights. So that department is like, there's nothing really that you can say that he did better work than other people. Like, you can't even tell he's trying, he's not trying. Like, probably the only thing he managed to do for the last decade or so as an actor is not getting fat. Okay, the only effort I think he's putting to being an actor and still get offered and playing main roles in dramas as the main lead guy, still as the sort of like targeted to female audiences, the leading man in idol drama, contemporary or period. The only effort he's putting is not getting fat. That's all he did. It's so easy to get money as him. The only thing he literally needs to suffer is putting on wigs, which is uncomfortable, with the glue on his head because he's in period dramas, in bad weather days, hot or cold, acting day and night in time, probably not good for your sleep. Like, that's the only suffering he needs to deal with. He gets money, he still gets like fandom. He doesn't even need to put out good work, but somehow he still plays lead characters. It's like, it's so easy for him to make money. God, I wish I was him. At least I'll be a better actor. I'm sure of it. And I definitely will be better at line delivery. Okay? If I were him. Such a good life. He definitely saved the earth in his previous incarnations. Like, he probably see what professionally he's done good enough to deserve what he gets offered these days. I can't see any. So the reason he's there is probably he's got good karma. So he is destined to be famous and getting set for life with money and everything. Even when he's married, he's totally married, he still can play romantic drama lead, still have girl fans who says like his face can be cut into 4 quarters and each is having one expression. Okay, so the only thing that like I can explain that is he's got good karma. In his multiple previous lifetimes, he may saved a whole army, saved a whole country, fought wars that saved many people, was a doctor that saved 1,000 lives. I don't know, like he did a lot of good things. So this time is his reward lifetime. Get everything. You don't even have to work. And actually, we don't want you to work. Don't put any effort. You just get it because it's your time. Take a vacation. This is your lifetime reward. Have fun. This is what Jialun is. So I actually don't hate him. I don't have a huge problem with him. I just feel like sometimes when I see him acting in the drama, right, and speaking with his I cannot breathe voice, I have the feeling like he probably is about to break out laughing just like right after they say cut. Because he's also like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm like, actually, I don't think this makes sense for me to get this, but somehow I'm getting it. Life is weird. Hey, ha ha ha. Like, I can feel like that's probably his energy too. So, what a good life. Okay, when I watch him, and like, that's my honest opinion, is what a good life. I don't hate this guy, but somehow like, when he's in this drama, he just makes it like, I'm not interested in watching whatever happens to this lead character in the story setting. He hasn't made this character in any way making me want to even care about what happens to him. I think him as an actor is having very good life. Good for him, but like it has nothing to do with me, and certainly I don't get any benefit from that. So what you'll do is you can watch it, but it is just that. Yeah, and his line delivery, really, I find it's just like, can you be that like not talented that you never improve even 1 inch? At least you've acted that many years. You've done so many lines like on set. Repeat 1 million times, you probably can improve at least 1%. How can you just not improve at all? It's very baffling, really, because I think everything that happens to you like leaves a mark, right? If you're really bad at singing, but you practice really hard, probably after some time you're doing it, so it's still gonna like benefit you in some way. Like it can make it better at least a little bit. His line delivery in this drama. He literally made Zuer sound like a masterclass line delivery teacher when she actually isn't at all. But when they are talking to each other, I think every other actor in this drama should thank Jialun for making them all sound so much better than they actually are. Under the Power, you should thank at least 60% of that to Zhang Jie, who dubbed him. If he was doing it himself, Lu Daren will completely be destroyed. Okay. I mean, I used to really like him. I think back in the days of 大唐荣耀 or even Under the Power, there's something that's still like likable in his acting, even when you completely disregard the dubbed line delivery, just himself as performer. But now these days, his performance has 班味. Anybody know that 班味? The smell, the scent, and the taste of going to work, punch card type of thing, going to the wage paying job, 上班, go to work, and his acting has 班味, the scent and taste of going to work. His acting is so 班味 now. I even miss the olden days when he doesn't actually look that good with the wig on. But another, like the only other thing I can say that in this drama that I'm impressed by him is that he pretty much didn't put much makeup on. Like you can tell he pretty much has very little makeup on his face, and he looks still okay, which is again the only great effort he's put in the last decade of being a male lead actor is not getting fat and probably not getting too old, and like do good skincare to keep his face still up and not looking aged. I think not looking aged and not getting fat is the best thing he's done in the last couple of years. Okay. I don't think he has anything wrong with being a person, because if you see, like, he barely has any scandals. He looks like a pretty nice guy, and he used to be an athlete, right? Like if he didn't actually got into acting, right? He was a professional athlete. And he's married. He's been married for years, and it doesn't seem to have like any epic shitty drama that happens in his personal life. So overall, like even when you listen to his very airy voice, you can almost tell this person's undertone is pretty nice. Like if you come across him in life, he probably is pretty lovely and approachable, right? But then doing a professional job as an actor is like, that doesn't really mean anything. And his line delivery is just, I don't understand why you cannot improve at all. And it's not so difficult, really. Like he doesn't have problems that cannot be solved. I just don't get it. So anyway, what you'll do is, okay, but as a 志怪, as a demon, 妖怪, legendary, whatever mystery drama, it's not that interesting. The plot, the characters are not well developed enough. The unit characters, they don't hook you. At least so far, I haven't been hooked by the 2-3 stories. I mean, the digital cat, like the black cat, is very adorable and it's very lovely story, but then the humans are like very boring. And if you want to say unit unit characters who are like the example of write it well and make people care about them, look at Strange Tales of Tang Dynasty. Pretty much every case has a couple of characters that you are like you can root for and you understand where they come from and they actually move you. Whereas in Will Do, these characters are like, it's like I don't get moved at all. So that's that one. Then previously the Tencent one, the 燕回时, the change my title on the day of airing, 贵女, Glory, that got changed to 燕回时, the finished airing more than a week, like 10 days ago, something like that. I made a video about. I said there are a couple of predictions I have, which I mean did not necessarily turn out to be true, but then it kind of didn't matter till the end, because after I made the video, the story just went they completely, it's like 脱缰的野马. It's like the horse has gone completely wild and uncontrollable, and the plot has just, it exploded on itself. Like whether actually the guy is the descendant of a whatever noble, whether the kid is his, like it does not matter anymore, because literally after I made the video, like the plot becomes like, I have no idea what you're doing. And nothing makes sense. And everything looks like a short drama snippet, and they just cut them together and things between them, like there's no link. It doesn't, like the logic doesn't string together at all. So 燕回时, the only consistent thing about 燕回时 from beginning till the end is how bad the male lead's acting is. It's surprisingly the most stable and consistent thing of the whole drama. Everything else is a bit mental. People become good, become bad, die, and then just like over a flip of like this. You click your finger and something happens. And it just happens. It's like meteor come out of outer space and just strike, and it doesn't ask, and it doesn't have any groundwork and laying clues. It just boom, 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 boom. This person dies, that person dies. This is like everything is just like boom, 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 and they don't make sense, but they happen, and it's like exciting. So that's what Glory, like the second half, or let's say the last third of it, has become this, what? So I don't even know, like, how can you argue with any of the logic of the story, because it doesn't have any. So it kind of doesn't matter, really, like who is who and what is what. It just all goes. Zhao Junyan, like I like people who remembers her. She's a very good actress. She's just so low-key that nobody kind of is aware of her existence. I mean, when her drama airs, it will air. That's it. I don't think there's any problem with the projects she's on. When it airs, it will air. And she's not the type of actress who's in the traffic game, right? She's definitely in for the long term. Like, I can see her play until she's like 60 and 70, as long as she's healthy. So she's in for a long game. Why everything has blossom? I have no idea. It does not make sense, but it happens. Everything is blossom. That drama was good. I think up to like episode 10 teen numbers, and then I start to lose interest in it. So I dropped it. And just after I dropped it, they released all the leftover episodes. They literally dump out the second half of the drama pretty much in one go, which is crazy. The Huangque, the theft, the anti-theft drama. And that drama is also like only interesting up to a point, and it starts to lose me. So I didn't continue watching it. I kind of know it finished airing. And I think they actually want to do a second season or something. But it's unlikely that I would go back to this whole thing, even the second season comes out, because the first season didn't even keep me on my seat, like, for the whole thing. So that's, we were talking about 宴会时 the glory. Really to that drama, the only good thing I see is like it has a couple of really good costumes from late Ming Dynasty, but then it's being actually I think exposed online that most of its late Ming Dynasty costumes claimed to be designed or done by the costume designer of the drama are actually completely stolen from other people. Their work, their Taobao shop, their design. And there are multiple Taobao and Hanfu designers who are claiming and exposing them, like comparing their own work to the drama, saying that the styler of the drama who says everything is designed by themselves is actually stolen from other people. So the fact is, for the glory, even the only good thing that I can see is its late Ming Dynasty costume is very questionable in terms of where it comes from and whether it's legit and whether it actually infringes other people's rights. So, okay. And then in terms of the story itself, if you've watched till the end, I feel it's it's quite shameless because it's cashing in on the popularity of the topic. Right now it's hot on internet, relevant about being the independent big woman, right? It's so cashing in on the idea of women's freedom, women's rights in a period setting drama where ultimately a woman's success actually still is basically resting on the man in her life who she marries to, who wants to back her up, like how high that person is. So it's pretty funny. And then in terms of all the slogan shouting in the glory, whether it's the main female lead character or her mother storyline, which is very laughable, and then even the concubine in the palace, her line, and the concubine in her family, so the bad woman who's giving her trouble all the time and suddenly at the end becomes her ally, or that woman, which is just like one snippet of the plot in the drama where she is like, she's in love with a younger guy and she's been a widow for ages of her life, and she eventually, like when you think carefully about all those women, and supposedly they are the big female lead, they represent the women's whatever, it's all so funny that it all has to have something to do with the guy. The older woman who wants freedom and who doesn't want the whole chastity whatever thing that comes with her being the great widow. Right, what's her way of actualizing her value as a person? Eloping with a guy who's 20 years younger than her. What's the value of our female lead's mother who basically lost her leg for 20 years of her life and suffered in the domestic environment? Is to, once she gets her leg back and get out of the family, immediately just marry another guy she didn't manage to marry 20 years ago. And that guy also is like the only goal of his life is to get this woman for the last 20 years, even when he is a successful official. Apparently that does not matter. Once they get together, they can die instantly afterwards and it's all still good. And even for our female lead character, right? Well, she still needs to get married to the guy so that she can get whatever she wants to do done. And then it's just really ironic. What the drama is trying to appear to be telling you and what it's actually doing is, it's written by a guy, and sometimes I don't want to sound like I'm discriminating against genders, but it's funny that it's written by a guy who thinks he's claiming women's power, but he's writing a story where the only thing matters is like picking the right guy in your life. Haha. Anyway, it's ridiculous, and I don't think dramas such as The Glory deserves more attention than it actually deserves. So we'll just leave it at that. Next one. Love on Turquoise Land Expectation. Well, until it comes out. I have no idea. I think it's largely depending on how they tell the story effectively on script level and also direction. I don't think it would actually hinge that much on actually Chen Xinxu and Di Li Ba. Because they are the type of actors who can do it to a standard. Whether it can sort of be surprisingly over that may not be depending upon them, but it may be to do with whether the director knows how to play direction game, and that is until it comes out. Who knows? 张新成电影是 well, it's still ongoing, right? Like, are they shooting it or finished shooting? No, it's still shooting it because I keep seeing paparazzi leaked videos about these two guys shooting the drama. It's, again, until it comes out, you don't know. And these days, shooting a guy drama is tricky. It's like you want to play that card, but you don't want to play it too obviously because you still want the drama to air. And Lin Yun and Fan Yilun, I did get to the end of the drama, but it kind of also like lost its energy halfway, and I know what happens in the end, and kind of like, okay, done. I mean, there are a couple of like really interesting, funny relationship lines between characters in the drama, and overall, like all the guys, like the main guys, right? There are 4 or 5 guys. They're all pretty cute, and you can mix and match their relationships, so it's pretty adorable. But it's not a high quality period idol drama in any sense. The Lin Yun and Fan Yilun, yeah. Is it Fan Yilun? Fang Yilun drama. So that one is okay, but I wouldn't highly recommend it to you. I probably will forget about it next year, honestly speaking. So that's that. And then let's talk about multiple crime dramas, contemporary ones that are like just finished. So Iqiyi has 乌云之上, which is Sun Li and Luo Jing, which is Breaking the Shadows. Youku has Sanstorm, which is 段奕宏, also finished airing, and Zhang Jianing. And then Tencent has 骑士, which is Playing Go, which is Chen Minghao, Wang Baoqiang. So those 3 dramas are very similar in terms of size and also theme, and they're on 3 different platforms. They're all crime dramas. First, Sandstorm, I watched a few episodes. I didn't continue. I didn't find it like hooking. It didn't hook me. And also, this is just my thing. I don't like how it looks. I highly do not like how they graded the color and contrast level of that drama. I know they're trying to make that desolate mining town look. And it's a mill, it's in heavy industry, high pollution. So everybody is like dusty and dark. Like they literally look like they're covered in soot all the time. Everything is so dark and highly contrasty and rough. Which, I mean, you can go for that look here. But they kind of overdid it. And they definitely intentionally graded the color to the point where it starts to become distracting because it's no longer realistic. Right? You cannot have a scene where you shoot, for example, under natural daylight exterior, a group of people. It's like bright sunny day. Yet there's not even one trace of warm tone color. Whether it's on skin, on the ground, on the background of the land. It's like they've taken out all the yellow and warm tone of that thing. It completely is gray, ashy, and it's weird. Like I think to a point where when I look at it, I can't believe it's happening on planet Earth, because the color is so graded. It's no longer. It's like somehow my brain cannot really believe it. I think if you're doing music video editing, it might be fine. It's like 4 minutes and it's highly expressive. It's like one theme and one idea you want to express, fine. But if you are like a full length drama and yet every shot looks like it's been graded, like it really, like they graded the shit out of it, literally. It's too much. So I constantly get bothered by how weird it looks. I can't quite, like that's one reason I can't quite get into the story. It's like constantly like, that looks so that's so odd. It's me, okay? It's the Sandstorm one on Youku. So I stopped watching because I have like there's a level of like visual pleasure I need from a drama to convince myself keep watching. If it looks too ugly, whatever ugly is to me, I can't keep doing it. So I quit Sandstorm for that reason. I did see like okay reviews online, but the drama also didn't catch much. I don't think I have the ability to go back and actually watch it minute by minute. I would have to watch it as a radio play of not looking at the screen, because visually it just does not look good to me. Too bad to the point I can't watch it. It's me. I'm honest about that. I can't help it, okay? It's how I got wired. So that I gave up on that one. And then the Iqiyi drama, 乌云之上, Sun Li, Luo Jing, Breaking the Shadows. Two things that I have problems with majorly. One, the story is boring. It didn't, again, like as a crime investigation drama, which is essentially one big case that has like a leading into it and gradually developing, and at the end you have like a sort of like result thing. It's one case, it's to do with a drug dealing thing, which is, okay, classic in Chinese Dramaland. It's being told in a very slow, boring, not engaging way. There's so many better crime stories that at least would satisfy the viewer's expectation of the genre from the get-go, where this drama doesn't do it. So that's one major thing that didn't make me, like, I watched I think more than half of it, and then I watched the ending. I kind of know what happens, and then that's it. I didn't want to bother spending any more time on it. The second thing of Breaking the Shadows is from Iqiyi. This is a problem. Like many Chinese dramas have this problem, but Iqiyi has the biggest amount, highest concentration of this problem, and it descends from that to Tencent to Youku in terms of the content they make, having this problem that is very detached from China's reality. It's set in China, played by Chinese actors, but it doesn't read like a Chinese story at all. Okay? By which I mean, first, when the story starts, you know the female lead character as a policeman. She's lost her partner in police station, who is also her lover, for 52 days. This guy went missing, and he was on investigation on the tailing a person who is suspected in a drug case. Now, drug case in China are big cases, okay? It's like highest priority level cases. If a major, like not just a rookie, a proper team leader of a branch of a police office who are in criminal investigation and who actually deals with drug cases, if this guy went missing for 52 days, it's not just that branch, that whole city's police will be all on this thing. It's funny to see that in that police station, apart from our female lead, who is the lover and the partner of this guy. Almost nobody is like really care about like where this guy went, and they're kind of all given up. They're kind of all like, yeah, he's missing. You probably have to face the fact that he's probably dead, but then move on, do other things. You know, like we'll try our best, but then right now it's like there's nothing you can do. So just like chill. Her leader is like that. Other people in this police station is like that. She's like against all odds. She's the only one who cares. Like they want to make this one lead character, the woman police, who is the hero of the whole thing. Ha ha ha! Like I laughed so much at that setup. Immediately, that is not a Chinese story. No way that happens in China like that. Just put in your imagination. If you ever watched Under the Skin, imagine we shift this story to Under the Skin police station, where one day Du Chen went missing. He was investigating a drug case, and he disappeared. He disappeared. After 50 days, you'd think only Shen Yi cares about him, and Jiang Feng, and Li Han, and Zhang Ju, and even Lu Dui. All those people just like, move on. We move on. Like, just imagine. Would you ever believe that could happen? Now, that's what happens in Breaking the Shadows. And I'm like, no way, okay? From that point onwards, nothing you say in this drama will make me believe in your storytelling. Whether it's Sun Li, Luo Jing, anybody playing those roles is not gonna make a difference. The story's premise is absolutely unbelievable. So nothing happens afterwards is worth even like discussion. That's Breaking the Shadows. I was so shocked about how they set up this police station. I couldn't even believe it's going on, but it's going on. Like I watched first 2 episodes, I'm like that. So that's that drama, Sun Li's drama. It failed for me. That's it. I know people are talking about Filter, yeah. So if you haven't watched Filter, in case, like go and watch it. It's fun. If you want the fun, this is the funniest thing you've had this year in Chinese Dramaland up to this point. So just for the fun of it, go and watch Filter. So for the crime dramas, we've talked about Sandstorm, Breaking the Shadows. Then the Tencent one, the Tencent Playing Go, Wang Baoqiang, 骑士. How many people have actually tested that drama and watched it? I'm wondering. Because if I'm talking about it and nobody has watched it, it's kind of like irrelevant. So that's the Tencent one. 骑士 Playing Go, Wang Baoqiang, Chen Minghao, Wang Zhi, a couple of other people. That has also recently finished airing on Tencent, 24 episodes. Yeah, the crime drama that I said I really wanna, sort of like Wang Baoqiang being a proper actor drama. I'm wondering how many people have watched that. If nobody has watched that, it kind of is no point of talking about it. Anyone? Funny Bunny, you're planning to watch. So if you have watched it, you probably realized something. If you haven't, then I will ask, if you haven't, have you ever watched Breaking Bad? The highest scoring US television series, I think, ever, right? In history. On IMDb. I think Breaking Bad is the highest scoring drama. Because its finale got like 10. Which is unbelievable. Full mark for the finale. Is it? I think. Because last time I checked on IMDb, it's that. So if you haven't watched Playing Go, I would ask, have you watched Breaking Bad? If you have watched Playing Go, you already know what I'm gonna say, which is probably Breaking Bad people is not gonna come to China and sue them, but oh my god, they plagiarized the shit out of that and not doing a good job, okay? So that's what Playing Go is. Imagine our lead character now is not a chemist and not teaching chemistry in high school or whatever. He's a Go player and teaching Go playing. Just switch that. And then he doesn't do drug dealing and drug making because in China you can't do it. And then his profession is Go playing, not chemistry, so he doesn't cook, okay? So he has to do other things like sort of like in a way fraud and also other form of like crimes, basically still getting money illegally. So it is so plagiarizing that it's like I don't want to recommend this drama to anybody because it's like just so shameful. Okay, for me being a Chinese person and seeing that happening, because whether it's the setup of the character or main characters in this drama, they all have a version that is in Breaking Bad, pretty much one-on-one copied. Main lead character from chemistry teacher to Go player. He's got a sick kid who's got motor neuron disease. Okay, he's got in this version his biological brother. In Breaking Bad is brother-in-law, who is a very successful and respected local policeman. Same thing. He met a young guy who become his partner in crime. Same thing happened in this version. This young guy has a girlfriend. Same thing in Chinese version. The girlfriend dies, or kind of got injured, like he was on, like he was literally there when it happened and he didn't save her. Same thing happened. Like, if you want to look at those major plot points of what happened in Breaking Bad and what happened to our main characters, it's like one and copy and paste and just like domesticated into Chinese version, and not even close in terms of story being good and making sense. Because in Breaking Bad, he's a master of chemistry. That's why it could happen. Like, he could make those things that other people cannot make. He's a master of chemistry. So the fact that his profession is literally the reason why the story happened, because without that, it's not gonna happen. But in this drama's version, whether he's a good Go player really has nothing to do with like the type of crime he commits. It doesn't translate. It's not a direct skill that you can put into making your crime happen, right? You're just like clever. You may be able to think a couple of steps ahead of other people, planning, putting other people into traps, yes. But arguably, that is ability that you don't have to be a Go player to have. And plenty of people don't play chess, don't play Go, but they play you, and they play you so well, okay? And so that does not make sense. It's like they just slapped on the character design of a Go player. And then how does that translate? And how does that actually translate into his master planning of all his crime? It doesn't actually tell you in the story. It doesn't show the process of doing it. And why? Because he's a Go player, therefore he does it better than other criminals? No. So that does not make sense. You know, for Breaking Bad, it makes sense because he has to physically do it himself. It's like, I can make the best meth. And it's like, in this one, it's like, yeah, but you're clever. Yeah, I can tell. Like, you definitely have like a super sort of like computer brain, but so what? Does it contribute to your level of crime? Not really. So yeah, it's just embarrassing. So if you want to watch this, you can give it a try. I mean, Wang Baoqiang is a pretty good actor in the whole thing, but the story does not make, it doesn't, when you think, right? Does it actually logically tightly links to each other? One thing results in another? No. And not to mention, it just copy paste all the major plot points and character relationships. And shameless. Shameless are the people who make this drama. I don't know if Wang Baoqiang has watched Breaking Bad himself. He may not have, so he doesn't have a clue, okay? He's pretty busy. His top, like, actors in China. But for the scriptwriters, right, there's no way. Like, they copied it. So they know everything about Breaking Bad. They copied it. And for the directors, they probably know that too. But they don't think it's a problem. So, like, hiya, such embarrassment. So, if you want to see how ridiculous, right, people can just literally copy other things like this and think they can get away with it, you can watch a couple of episodes of playing Go and then get blown away by how copied it is. And then you don't need to keep watching because it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better, so no need to waste your life on that. That's playing Go, unfortunately. In general, I don't think you should have high hope for Chinese dramas in anything these days. You get one good drama a year, that's lucky you. You don't get anything, it's like normal. So, that is the crime dramas we have. What else do we have right now? Pretty much that's it. And then I've made a video talking about A Moment But Forever. I think it is still one of the best script I've seen in this genre. And in a way, if you go into like details about the script, particularly the ideas that the characters sort of like express from their mouth, which is written by the scriptwriter. This scriptwriter, at least I think among all these scriptwriters I've seen, probably has quite a bit, let's say in actually the end result of things. So her story does get kept to an extent, but maybe not too full. And then I feel the writer herself is probably reads a lot sci-fi, reads a lot of philosophy, is very deep into meta stuff, not religious, spirituality level, who has exposure to probably the latest or most popular, or let's say a quite huge amount of very existential ideas and thoughts and discussions the current sort of world has, that is not necessarily restricted to, say, Chinese traditional whatever beliefs, religion like Taoism, Buddhism, or other things. Like, I think she has quite big exposure to all the things like I'm very familiar with. Like, when I watch her drama and watch her how she write her characters, I feel like she is the type of person that I can very easily relate. Or like, she is exposed to a lot of things that I'm exposed to, and her ideas about what's currently going on in the world is very much up to like what I also am sort of updated to. And then her ideas or her observations or her thoughts on very meta stuff is also very familiar to me. So I feel like this person who writes the script, at least I can very easily get where she comes from and what kind of she is, like in the background of her writing, like what she has access to, or what she believes in, or what she has been thinking about, at least in her life. Like, these things get reflected in her writing, which I don't think there's another writer that, at least with my like amount of dramas I've watched in Chinese Dramaland, who is like that. She's pretty unique. And she definitely on her own did a lot of thinking on the ultimate questions of existence. And I am really happy to see that gets put into a xianxia drama, which like you just don't see other people do at all. And thinking about, she was also a part of Love and Destiny's writing team, and now she wrote A Moment But Forever as the only credited writer. The previous one she worked with 2 other people. It's pretty interesting, like the consistency. It's really weird. Like, these 2 stories are not really that similar, and they're 6 years apart. And they're very different dramas, because one is like 60 episodes, super long. Now this one is like totally different and made at different time. And I didn't know this at all before I went into this drama. I had no idea it's the same writer who wrote Love and Destiny also wrote Moment But Forever. But I liked both dramas. And I liked it both for the background things. Like you can sense what the writer is trying to express beyond the plot. And somehow I just like, yeah, and I looked up and was like, interesting. I guess like we have very similar programming in our brain. Like, we kind of go around the same route. So it's like, even after 6 years and randomly clicking in, I'm like, oh, familiar. You can smell it. Like, I can smell it. That's how it is. So it's weird. I came across this drama and didn't know it at all, that it's done by the same writer, but I liked it instantly. I think that may say something about me too. I don't know. And also it's weird. Like, I literally walked onto its set. So maybe it's fate. Who knows? We Girls is in cinema. I can't watch it. I'm not in China. I can't. It got released in April, right? So you're gonna wait for like 3 months at least before it got released online. Flourish Peony? I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about that one. I mean, it's Young's drama, so it's gonna happen. I mean, people still gonna put money in it, right? It's gonna happen. It's gonna still look like that and whatever. Big female lead in ancient society, imperial society, and making it all happen because it's big female lead. She needs to be independent, but then she's a concubine. It does not matter because she's the main character. She can make business happen, but exactly how that happens, nobody cares, nobody knows. And she's gonna look like a saint all the time, and she's like, it's all good. Yeah, who cares? It's gonna happen. But What else can I say? What else? Is there anything else interesting going on? I mean, 淮水竹亭 got pushed back, so I don't know when. Maybe end of this month, maybe like, but they're still gonna release it. I feel like once We'll Do is out of the way, they're still gonna have to drop out 淮水竹亭. Because what else can you do, right? It's already kind of like, Hi Saturday is recorded and it's all like ready. You have to push it out. So very soon you're gonna see 刘诗诗 and Zhang Yunlong's drama. Maybe coming week, before the end of this month, most likely. Any upcoming drama you're interested in? Right now, I mean, I will want to look into 淮水竹亭 a bit. I don't quite care about 刘诗诗, but I do care about Zhang Yunlong. I just want to see if this time he can like even have a little bit possibility of finally getting a little bit popularity recognition. I don't know. In a way, he's like Liu Xueyi. Like everybody knows him, but he just never ever got to the front line of being popular. And you wonder why, but it just never got there. So I do want to see that one. Although I honestly, I don't have high hopes in Liu Shishi making it work. It probably is just gonna be another 剃头蛋子一头热 situation. Unnatural Fire made a video. I've made a video on that Unnatural Fire already. The name of Blossom? So apart from love, apparently blossom is the next word in Chinese. That just like no one can have enough of it. Who knows why? Huh? World is weird place. Anything else? Yeah, it's just like so hard to think of what are the dramas that are highly like you just want to see. I know they're on like moving on making, because the third movie of Wandering Earth has just started shooting officially. They're aiming at 2027, so 2 years later, Chinese New Year, releasing it, the third one. While that is ongoing, there is a little bit movement right now on the second season of Three Body. After the first one in 2023 by the same team. There's a little bit movement on that. And there's only rumor, that the lead of the most important character in trilogy, Luo Ji, the guy who is like essential for the whole story. Rumor is Hu Ge maybe playing it, but it's unconfirmed. I am not sure about how I should be feeling about that. I don't think he's the best casting choice. Honestly speaking. But if it happens, it is not the worst either. It wouldn't be the worst, okay? But it's definitely not the best either. Ding Yuxi. So there is movement on Three Body, but we are not sure if that's real. And yeah, if it's Hu Ge, it wouldn't be the worst, but I don't think it's the best choice either. If it's like Hu Ge, though, it's Hu Ge's acting is. I think his range is very narrow. There are only a number of type of roles that's really suitable for him. And it's very hard for me to imagine him completely break through. Be like very different from what you've seen him being. He's not bad by any means, but I don't think he's that good of an actor. Just purely on acting. Just thinking about acting as a craft, I don't think he's that good. he's a bloody lucky guy. In terms of hitting the right notes at the right stage of his life every time. Misfortune and fortune at the same time. Li Xiaoyao is 1 mark. Mei Changsu is mark 2. The third is Abao in Shanghai Blossom. Usually, it happens once to one actor in one lifetime. He got 3 already. And it made him almost in this weird way of, again, maybe it's his karma, right? Because it happens in this way that it's like too planned, a script almost. His life is like, he lives this life as almost following an incredible script that somebody set up just for him, that you cannot even argue with whether anything happens for, like, makes sense. It doesn't have to. It is a tailored script to Huge as a person on planet Earth, on this timeline. It just has to happen in that way. And it's never gonna happen again to another person. It's just one-off. It's his tailored life script. That's what I feel Huge as an actor and as a celebrity is. And it's almost useless to argue whether anything makes sense. And he may not actually be the best actor for any of the roles he's played, but in a way, it's like they're waiting for him, and it's only for him. So far it's been like that. I don't feel Luoji in that sense is the same like Li Xiaoyao or Mei Changsu or Abao. So I wouldn't say he's the best casting choice for that role. But if it happens to him, I wouldn't be surprised because he's got a really weird chart of... Don't try to reason why it happens. It happens to him because it's him. Okay? Like Huge is such a bug of the world's programming that you just have to accept it. It's like some people walk out and it rings, and it always rings, and you don't have any reason for why it happens, but it's like it's tailored for his lifetime. So that is Huge, and maybe he will end up in 3 body, and if it happens, let's see how it's gonna turn out. If in any word on Strange Tales of Tang Dynasty, I think they're close to finishing. They've been shooting for quite a long time, but they're close to finishing. And at least by what I've heard, they've got very epic parts of the drama that they haven't done before for this 3rd season. So you probably can hope for very exciting stuff. But because they're shooting it so late now, I guess they may not be able to put it out this year. Maybe you'll have to wait till next. I have the feeling that it's just too tight on post-production. In a perfect world, who would you choose? Yeah, Luoji is a hard character. There probably isn't a perfect person. I'd say a combination of younger Qing Hao. Qing Hao now is too old. A younger Qing Hao with a touch of Zhai Zilu. And then adding a little bit of another person. The other day I was thinking, if I can combine people into one actor and then they play Luoji, who would that be? I would, the baseline would be a younger Qing Hao, but it will need to add a little bit of another person. Like I was thinking about 3 people mixed together, but we don't have one like that right now, like as one person. So, and also Luoji is just such an interesting and important role in the trilogy of the book that in a way it almost is impossible to find a real life person to actually fully be able to portray. You almost like have to take a part of one actor quality mixed with another actor's quality and ideally putting it together, and that person will be perfect, but that person does not exist. That's how hard it is to find the perfect Luoji. Love's Ambition will release. When do you think? I have no idea, and I pretty much don't care. I don't think like, honestly speaking, right, there would be no pleasure that I could possibly get from dramas she did like before it all happened, because I miss the old days. I miss the old days, Tiger and Rose, and even before that. At least back then, there's like a spark of real person there. Now it's, I don't know what I'm looking at. And certainly there, like by no, like if you're in this kind of state, you can't create characters. If an actor is not even like really assured or in any way, like they are not them, like they don't know who they are, how can they play anyone else, right? It's, I don't know. So that drama is like I'm not like, also Love's Ambition. I think you mean Chen Weiting and Zhao Lusi one. Chen Weiting can't act either. I mean, how many dramas have we seen Chen Weiting being, and has he ever really made it work? Not really. Like who can save who? In that, like these two leads, who can save whom, and who can make, like probably they would just make each other worse. Okay. Anybody who wants to know Song Zuer stuff, like just look at my earlier live stream. I did talk about it. Waiting for her to sign up with new things. If she doesn't sign up with new things, it's problem. It's like end. If she does sign up soon with new things, that means it's good. And you just have to wait till that happens. Releasing old dramas does not mean it's 100% safe, because currently, because platforms are so struggling, if they can't release what they've made, they better just dig their own grave and jump in and close the soil on top of their head, because they're all just about to die. So that may be one reason why those dramas are dropping. But if she signs up with new things, then she's good. I don't care who get me. Like, I mean, you know, like, how many fandom wars have I seen? I don't give a shit to these things. I don't care. Okay? And honestly, as an actress, she's become completely uninteresting. She's like Bai Lu, right? And then Yu Shuxing is sliding down that slope also. But, I mean, given, like, I really like Xiaolan Hua, so I'll still give her another chance. But she's close to sliding off after the skin to love thing. I'm like, holy shit, what am I looking at? So for these actresses, I pretty much have given up on Yang Zi. I have completely given up on Zhao Lusi. I have completely given up on Bai Lu. Being able to do any acting that is like effective to me. It's like, I want to watch their acting. It's like, not interested, don't care, whatever. And then Yu Shuxing is like, I would give her another chance, okay? If it still doesn't work, then she's gonna get into the zone of pretty much having given up. But like completely given up, not having any hope and don't care, and probably would not watch, and even watch I know it's just not gonna click with me, are Bai Lu and Zhao Lusi. I think among the so-called four ordinary girls, which is ridiculous, but anyway, people tend to like want to group them together for whatever reason. This is my honest opinion. Them as actresses, whether their acting is in any way like giving me any even like inkling to say, oh, let's go and check it out for a bit, right? Like that interest is like, do I want to even just test it out? To me, that's currently how these four are sort of as actresses to me, in terms of they are in the projects and I really want to see them acting. They're all in very bad places, okay? But like they are completely already like fan PR. To me, it's like the pages flipped, I don't care anymore. And then there is like the pages almost flipped, right? And the pages already been picked up by me and I'm about to flip. Like they're on those stages as a drama watcher, right? I'm not in any way like I don't have any beef against them. Also, I don't get any benefit from like saying good or bad things about them at all. Like I get zero money, anything. Like I don't get anything. So I'm just an audience member watching dramas, honest opinion based on what they've worked on so far and what I've seen them doing. So it's like this business always will have new people coming in. Okay, and there will always be good new people coming in. So, you know, if you're not good enough, I'm gonna move on to other people. That's just like watching their stuff will be more interesting and I'll be watching them. That's it. Would you be, you're interesting to take this to revamp herself? Right now with what she's doing and what her team is doing, I don't think she's gonna get opportunities to revamp herself. Say I'm a producer. I have this amount of money. I'm gonna get from investors, I'm gonna do a project, and now I'm gonna cast people. First thing I want to do is make sure these people are not gonna crash my project before it actually get released. Which means background check. Do they have a drug problem? Do they have tax problem? Have they said anything politically wrong that may just tank them while the drama is still being made? Then, as a person, is there anything else that's unstable that may jeopardize my investment? Because it is an investment of at least a year. I put this out pre-production, production, post-production, getting censorship, getting aired. You can run as fast as you can, probably shortest a year. So from this point on of picking this person to a year later, is he, she gonna crash my investment? I have to do that like if I'm a producer. Cool-headed, making money, perspective, who am I gonna pick? I'm gonna pick the people who at least look stable. They may not be the best role model in the whole world. They may even have skeleton in their closet. But first, the skeleton is unlikely to get discovered, at least within a year. And then second, probably nobody cares about that in this industry. Or it's not the type of thing that's gonna literally get you hardline red tape in China canceled. Like I have to think about these things, right? So my point is right now, unless it is people who basically is, let's say, her inside circle. It's like her, whoever is backing her up now, like whatever money, right? And then it's like, they're gonna make sure that like they can control it. Basically, they can control that no shit is gonna happen. Anybody from outside who's not in her circle, whatever that means, if I'm gonna make a project and I'm gonna look for people who are gonna be the main cast, right? It's basically a business relationship, right? I have to do all those things and make sure that I have the highest amount of safety before I go ahead and put millions and millions of dollars into something. Now, with what is going on since end of last year to now, whatever the reason it is, it does not matter, right? This is whatever, like if you are a cool-headed business person, is it making sense for you to say, pick her to, if it's a short return, if like she's being a spokesperson for a brand that's gonna like flash sale for half a month, a lipstick, a perfume, whatever, and it's done. Okay, that's fine, like advertisement, I can see like it could work. I'm talking about a television series, a movie, whatever, a year at least, even two. Time looking ahead, like that's gonna be that much time before it can even show any kind of return of investment. Like if you are the producer, like what are you gonna do? That's the problem. It's like right now, even if she wants to, whether she's gonna get any offer, The reality is nobody has any problem with their, like, nobody hates their own money, okay? I'd rather my money being safe, right? Even if it doesn't make that much of a return, I don't lose. I get a little bit return. That's already like not too bad in the climate of current Chinese drama. Unless I intentionally just want to crash myself. Like, I don't know, like, unless people just really, really want the shit to happen, then they choose the most volatile element and put them together and like just explode. And have a great, like, whatever, fireworks and everybody tanks. I don't know. I mean, that could happen. I have no idea. But it's just like what it is, right? So it's not in her favor, really, for all the things that's been going on. And I have no idea. Maybe you don't know what's going on behind the scene, really. Like, why they do this thing, what is the whatever. But at the end of the day, I think the business, and also for everybody who take part in it, in front of the camera. So all the faces who need to show up in front of the camera, being actors, whatever, internet celebrity, whatever, like the camera. Like, if you want to go into this business, in the way you have to be a type of person. You have to have a particular type of mentality. You literally cannot get affected. Literally, you have to have this almost shameless level of like blocking it off and not letting it get to you. To even function in this business. And I feel like, from what I observe, she's not that type of person. It's actually a really bad idea for her to get into this business. And then for her to go on this route and get into this fierce competition of who is the little flower, the top little flower, whatever that means, you know, like entertainment business people keep thinking about up terms. She's very unsuitable for this type of business. Is what I can tell is like, it's not worth doing it. Honestly speaking, I think for whatever has happened since last year, it's just so not worth doing it. And it's not like she needs the job, or she needs, like, if she doesn't do this, she's gonna go starve. No, like, she comes from a pretty well-off family, and it doesn't have to be like this, right? It could, I don't know, like, it's just a very not suitable career path for her to pick. And it's like, right now, it's kind of like completely out of control. It's like, who knows where it's gonna go and how far it's gonna. But it's like, it's, in many ways, I think, as a person, right, in her 20s person, I just feel this is too much. It's not worth doing it. It's so not worth getting into all this, like, just for, what a hard life. What a hard life they've picked for themselves. It's messy. It's so messy. And then for these, like, actresses, right? Yu Shuxing. Yeah, Yu Shuxing is, like, I feel like she's more matured and probably more clever than the other girls, but then not enough. And her choices are very, again, like, I don't quite get it. It's like not consistent. And then for her Skin Love, I don't know, like, what happened to that one? Who had that much say in the whole production in terms of how she played the role? And because she can play normal acting, like, you've seen her doing that in Yue Guang, with Ding Yuxi, right? Where she plays the editor and he plays the writer. In that drama, it's still a very pink bubble, idealized romantic contemporary drama setting. But in that drama, she plays like a believable real-life working person in a publishing company who is trying to do what she does. Like, she can do normal acting. But in Skin Love, she just, like, regressed into, like, a giant baby. Like, she's 3 years old. And no normal 27-year-old independent career woman would be acting, talking like that, and somehow the whole world feels it's just normal. Because in that drama, like she acts in a way it makes elementary kids cringe. And it's so over the top. Like if occasionally when you get really close to someone and it's like private and you start to play those like a little, okay, I understand, like you can do it occasionally, okay, but you cannot do it 24/7. Like she does it in a way like it just baffles me. I'm like, ew. Okay, maybe it's just me, but if anybody around me act like that and they're adult, like I'm gonna run away from them. I'm just like, oh, that's so weird. Like, why would anybody talk and act like that? And you're like, goodbye, you know? It's like if you see somebody acting like that on the bus, you're not gonna want to sit next to them. Okay, so that's me. So Yu Shuxing in ski drama, I just don't get why she would go that far. Like who gave her the idea that that's like a really good idea to play that character? I mean, she can do normal acting. I've seen her done it, but I don't know what happens with this one. I mean, even let's say the one where she played the role of the like with Zhang Bingbing, where she is the PhD in birds. I mean, that one is a slightly overacting too than normal, but then that's like controlled within the still I think I can reason with it. And then she's not always like that. She's still like parts of it, like she's normal, and then sometimes she's a little bit like acting it up, but I can accept that. And that drama's main problem is the second lead couple takes way too much time. But then once it got into the Lin Yi and her drama, I honestly can watch. Like I've got a good friend who actually really like it. And she likes it because she likes Lin Yi, right? She's completely just hormonally like ruled by Lin Yi right now. So she watched the drama and she ignored Yu Shuxing anything of that because she's like, I'm just in it for Lin Yi, so I don't mind and I love it. I'm like, cool. And she's completely on a hormone rampage. Like she went through everything Lin Yi has been in the last couple of years, everything. Even when he's like only had 3 episodes in Tale of Rose, my friend just ate them all up. And she like clearly says, I'm in it for Lin Yi and then I don't mind. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that makes perfect sense because, you know, some people just like click with you. What can you say? And like I find that's totally very reasonable. But then for me, because Lin Yi doesn't work on me like that, therefore, I don't have that filter that can drag me through the whole drama. And then I look at Yu Shuxing, I'm like, oh yeah. She's like close to 170 centimeter. Do you know how tall that is for an Asian woman? That's pretty tall. Okay, I've got a roommate who's exactly her height previously. And I imagine her acting in that adorable baby way. I want to dig a hole in the soil. I want to just go in there and hide myself. Holy shit, what's wrong with the world? That's like my biological reaction. Like I got so, I can't watch it. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I have like, I know, childhood trauma that I can't deal with people like that. It's my fault, but I can't deal with it. It's literally biologically attacking me. So Skiing Love is like, can't watch it. Oh my god, I can't watch both male and female giant babies. Okay, I can't do that. Yu Shuxing is giant, like really tall. If you have seen her in those events where she stands next to another, like next to, for example, Zhao Lusi, you realize, oh my gosh, she's a giant, like that much bigger than all the other girls. So imagine her playing baby, right? It's gonna be so weird when you look at it in real life. Yangzi's right now, honestly, physically, the problem is she's done too many things to her face that she can't use her face as a normal actress anymore, and it's unlikely to go back to normal face anymore. And acting is a lot to do with camera on your face and all the muscles, the tiny movements, those tweaking the little bit of the eye, the little bit of the eyebrow, or the face. It's so much on your face. But Yang Zi has completely decimated her face with so many things that whether she feels inside and whether she can put it out, like they're no longer relevant. She feels something, she cannot translate that physically to her face, and then to the camera, and then to the audiences. So, I don't know. Is that a thing with technology that can eventually get solved? I have no idea. I'm not an expert in plastic surgery and any of that, but her face has become so... No, acting. I'm not discriminating against tall girls. I think it's so cool. Like, I wish I have a couple of more centimeters. And they're all on my legs. But, like, it's not because you're tall you cannot act cute. You can act cute however you like. But you can, like, if that's naturally how you work, it's fine. But if you clearly see they're pretending, it's not how they naturally are. Like, there are people who, like, do you remember the girl who has the anime voice on the boat with Speed? She's an adult. She's like 25 years old. She sounds like she's 5 years old. But when you look at how she talks, she still talks within the very, like, normal human sort of tone and pacing. It's just the vocal quality is very, very like that. But she talks, she doesn't pretend to be really, really cute. Okay, so it still is okay. And that girl is like totally fine and people love her on the live stream. So it's nothing wrong with you maybe sound a bit cute and occasionally act cute. But at least it's like within reasonable boundaries and you're not pretending to be something you just so are not naturally. Because Yu Shuxing is not like that. We've seen her before she got famous in variety shows, in other things, where she talks with a very normal voice and she acts completely not. She's like, she has actually a mid voice. She's not naturally very high toned, and then she talks very straightforward, like a normal adult woman. And so like, you know, it's not her, and she's pretending. Therefore, it's really weird. And also, like, really, like, even when really adorable people act, you see the consistency of them. Like they genuinely are just always in that zone. So that's normal. But like, when you see clearly it's all fake and it's all put on, it's a show, it's icky. It's really weird. Yeah. Well, Lee, that's very reasonable. You think he's handsome, you can continue. I'm pretty much like that too. I may really like an actor from a really hormonal perspective because, you know, some people work on you. But if the story is too bad or it's just like, I can't do it. But some other people can. Like, I have a good friend of mine who can do it. And she's like having a blast. Which is like, cool. At least you can do that. You know, like, I can't even make myself do it, even if I want to. I have never liked an actor that much that I can ignore the story's poor quality to keep watching the drama. Honestly speaking, if it's too bad, if it's like acceptable, I can struggle to the end. If it's too bad, even if I really, really, really like the person, because the story is not effective, therefore their characters is not effective to me. So it doesn't speak. It still doesn't stick with me. I still feel it's a waste of my life watching the stuff they're in, even when I like them. Unless, for example, it is the type of story where they didn't fail their part. It's the rest of the story, other parts that failed, but them as their own character actually did, like, he did his best job and then actually works, then I can probably watch it. Like, I'm like that. But it still depends on the overall quality of the story. If it's too bad, nobody can save it for me. That's me. Oh, and I forgot to say something before. Like, we're gonna do it till half-past, and we're gonna call it. It's 3 hours again. Anybody who's watching will do right now the Demon Hunter's Romance. Anybody notice? Because I want to confirm, because I haven't seen anybody like confirming with me. Anybody noticing how bad the sound quality is of that drama? If you're watching it from Iqiyi, because I think it will be the same, but unless in the post-production they coded the file, because there are ways of coding sound that actually misaligns with how the platform compresses the file and send it out, resulting in you've mixed something that sounds good on your end, but when you put it on the platform, they mess it up, and it sounds, when it comes out, it sounds absolutely awful. Has anyone noticed? Demon Hunter's Romance's sound is very, very bad from Iqiyi. I listened to it when it's just like that from the speaker, and I was like, this is so weird. The sound quality is so bad. Everybody sounded so badly recorded. The background noise is so bad. Why? So I put on headphones to listen, and in headphones it sounds even worse. And you hear all the not worked out parts of the sound. Like they don't mix it well. From one scene to another scene, they cut the ambience in the background are suddenly loud, suddenly low. They don't mix, they don't flow into another. Like the space where the person is in, which I think most of that is live recording, the space they're in, when they cut to another scene, it suddenly jumps to a very different ambience. Like the whole space changes, and there's a hard cut in the between. Nothing gets mixed in any, it just so jars. And then the person's lying on top, like everybody's recording sounded bad, like bad. And I was so annoyed by the sound of Demon Hunter's Romance. Parts of my pain of watching the drama is it sounded like shit. And I don't know, people don't care about that in China. So even when I say, like I post on Weibo, I'm like, what the heck is with the sound of it? Nobody like respond to me. I think no one cares about that, but I don't know, like, is there anyone watching this drama feeling the sound is shit? Let me know, because it's so bad. I haven't heard such a bad recording for a long time. It's just bad. Everybody sounded bad. If nobody noticed that, then it's my problem. It couldn't be that, right? It is recorded live, I think, most of it. But even when it's recorded live, it does not excuse them for sounding so bad. Because live recording is a normal thing for productions. It's not rocket science. And even with a lot of other live recorded stuff, it doesn't sound this bad. It just sounds so bad. Okay, so at least there's another person. Vero, like you noticed it, so I'm not alone in it. I don't know, like, I mean, but even when you watch it on phones, because I watch it on iPad, which isn't really that much from a phone, I'm like, this is so weird. You know, like, in a way, it sounded in an echoey, weird, spatial way, and I do know there is a problem. I think somebody mentioned it in post-production the other day. I was watching a very technical video talking about production, which is if you have a type of mix in post-production, I don't know if it's Dolby or whatever stereo, like multiple channel, whatever mixing, and then you have the file, but the platform that's gonna host your video, when they compress it, because of their different ways of compression, certain mixing codec will get messed up in that mixing, and it will result in a very echoey, ugly sound that has this weird quality of background and the person speaking. It just sounds really bad. But if you fix the coding of your compression, it will solve that problem. And I don't know if that's the case for this drama, because I only have it on Iqiyi. I don't have it on other platforms. I don't know if it's being aired on other platforms and whether it sounds better, but Iqiyi, it's just so... I mean, not helping that Jialun is crappy at line delivery, but then like Zuer and other people also don't sound that good. And it's just recording quality of the sound is just bad. Okay, so I just happen to like really can't deal with these things. Love's Rebellion, 张凌赫and Jin Tian. Oh, that one. I didn't even watch that one that many episodes, so I couldn't quite notice. I don't think it's that bad, because that drama, in my memory, it doesn't have this weird ambience hard cut problem. Every room's ambience is different, and it's so hard cutting. It's like every time they cut to a different scene, you hear the ambience changing instantly on the hard cut, either louder or lesser, and the space instantly change, and it's so loud. The ambience is so loud, you can hear the air literally in the drama, and it's like loud, and it's so hard cut every time. Like if I wear headphones, it's like I don't even have to look at the picture. I just hear a cut. I mean, like they cut to a different scene. A cut. They definitely cut to a different scene, and every time they cut, the ambience just shifts so drastically. It's absolutely annoying, and I don't know why it doesn't have to happen in post-production. Really, it's not hard to get rid of those things and balance it out, and I don't know, like it's bad anyway. See like how hard it is for me to watch dramas. Any thoughts on upcoming 12 Letters? I'm curious about that one. I hope it's a good story. A sort of mysterious urban legend type of story, right? You want it to be a good script. It's so hard to get a good script in Chinese Dramaland. It's so hard. I just like one simple, from beginning to the end, nicely tied up package. Can't get that. We've already spent 3 hours. Thank you for people who are still here, or like somehow halfway cutting and still listening to me. Youku is crazy. But Youku, in a way, at least is like, I don't know, like I think the three platforms, the least favorable to me right now is Iqiyi. Iqiyi is, in Chinese internet term, 屁股最歪. Okay, its butt is sitting in the most tipped position, and it's quite shameless at doing what it does. And yeah, I want conspiracy theory why it is like that a lot. Tencent is brute, is rich, but it has no taste. And it's slightly better in the department of 屁股太歪 problem. Youku probably is the 屁股最不歪, so it's the least sitting on the right side of things platform, but then it's hopeless in content creation. And like it's like the Chinese peasants in Vance's words, right? So they all have their own sins. And these days, like for the first half of April, right, who cares about what happens in Dramaland? Because real life Dramaland is so much more dramatic. Honestly, that's why my title of this month is just look at what goes on in the world. Whether it's just right after natural disasters that happens in Asia, and then you get trade war, and then multiple episodes of stock market going up and down and going crazy, and retaliation back. TikTok started to telling you all the luxury goods you get in US is done in China, and it's only costing like 1/10 of the actual cost, but hey, you get scammed, who cares? And if you want to order things like even furniture, you can just literally buy it from China, and even with like 145% tariff, it's still like 10 times cheaper than what you can get in the States. So you start to have all these things flooding in, and before and also like during that the whole China live stream from I Show Speed. It's like real world is so exciting. And particularly I think the day that he went to Chongqing, because there's this like live stream upcoming thing, right? I know it's gonna like be midnight where I am, and he's gonna show up in Chongqing. I had an alarm clock on while I was sleeping, just to wake me up at the time, and just clicking to give a very brief check about where he is in Chongqing, what he's gonna do. And then I go back to sleep, and then when I wake up, he's still live streaming, and then it's night in Chongqing, and then it's day here, and I was watching live when he went on the boat tour and just went to Hongyadong and comes back. I'm like, the world is crazy. Wow. Right? So all these things are happening in the world, and you look at Chinese dramas, it's like, not even 1% like as exciting as what goes on in real world. I'd rather watch the shit unfolding right now, real time in our effed up world, than watching dramas. Like, your drama imagination can never get as close as what Trump does. On daily basis, he's like, he does one thing in the morning, he does one thing in the evening, and it completely defines all logic in the world. And even the worst scriptwriters, they're not right like that, but it's ongoing right now, in your face, in the world. It's like, that's like tea and melon times a million. And like Dramaland will never be able to deliver this amount of excitement and stimulants as real life can do. So in comparison, so pale. Chinese Dramaland, so pale. How can you compete with the live broadcasting dramas ongoing all the time in the world? So that's like, I'm losing interest in Chinese Dramaland so much because, oh my god, it's so boring in comparison to what is actually going on. 暗河传. Oh, somebody is Tales of Dark River. I actually know somebody who knows somebody who's very close to her who works on this drama, who's one of the supporting actresses. Very pretty lady. So I've heard enough rumor and enough gossip that is exclusive, and I'll never share with you online because it's real, therefore I can't share it. But I do know quite a bit about that production and what goes on behind the scenes, and I just say like, don't, like, have fun with dramas and characters, but don't ever just like in any way take actors seriously and daydream about stuff and projecting. Not worth it. And also personally, I'm not that interested in that. That's the Dark River, okay? Gongjun, I think. Gongjun Changhuasen. There's no, I can't whisper it. Because it's real, therefore I cannot whisper it. Okay? And also, like, personally, I'm not that interested in that story or the actors either. Honestly, Gongjun is an accident, I think, in sort of the years of watching dramas and him getting Wen Kexing's role and got like that sudden explosion of fame. It is like probably in his chart, like he needs like he has this one big thing, but after that it's like long-term sustainable fame comes from actually somehow you still have to have real stuff. Like you have to have something in your toolkit. You have to have something to offer. You have to have a rich reservoir of whatever to deliver over time. If you don't, that one lucky strike is just that one lucky strike. And you can't sustain it. He can't sustain it. That's honestly what it is. His acting is nothing to, like there's so many people who do it better than he does. In terms of his look and whatever, I mean, plenty of tall guys who look handsome in Dramaland. Like, what can he compete against other people who have similar build, who are younger than he does? Not really. That's the sad thing about Gongjun. Wen Kexing is an accident. Yeah. Now, like he probably can do a better role acting if he act opposite a male than a female. That is what we can see over the last few years. It's kind of been proven pretty clearly. But then now you cannot do it legitimately openly with a male, right? If you want to do it with a male, you have to kind of like go around, meander, not really doing it, suggesting it, play it, letting all the audiences feel that in their head about all those things. And even if you do that, you still have to have a really good base script and good enough production. And I feel like the time in Chinese Dramaland for those dramas like BL or like touching on the BL thing is gone. It's no longer the time. Like stars have moved away and they don't come back until they go a full circle, which is a long time after this. 天使 is not here anymore, okay? So I don't think it's gonna go. Like I think the best time he's had is during the years of Word of Honor 21, 22. That's the best time he's had in his career, and I don't think it's gonna happen again. That's genuinely what I think it is. Anything else? Escape of the Trilateral Slope. What is that? Interesting title. I'll look it up. I think I have a vague impression of that weird title, but I can't quite remember where I've seen it. How Gongjun is still around. I don't know that either. Justice in the Dark is slowly being aired until it finishes in June. We shall see. I mean, I am never like I never shipped the drama or the couple, even when it was like airing back in the days when it was airing the first 8 episodes on Youku. I was just like never quite clicked with me. I feel it's a lot of overacting. I feel basically Zhang Xingcheng is too aware of he's playing a BL adaptation character. He shouldn't be that. He should completely just play it as a normal, like not knowing it's a BL adaptation. It will have worked a lot better. But he's so conscious of like he's playing that bit role that is. You know, to make a BL adaptation work, you actually have to make the 2 leads completely are not aware of people ship them in that way. That's how it can make it work. As soon as they are aware, like people are watching the drama for that, and they play it as it fails. It has to be that awareness that it makes it work. I don't know, like it's just a weird thing, but for Justice in the Dark, it didn't work on me. So now like I've watched a couple of episodes that got released in Japan as well, and I'm like, okay. Like I also like because it's so fictional, right? It's police station, the look of it, the language, the city name, it sets up as everybody's speaking Chinese, but it's happening in the parallel universe that's not China, and but it's weird. It's like really weird. Like it's not Japan, it's not Hong Kong, it's not Southeast Asia. It's like a weird China but alien world. It constantly makes me like people sound like they grew up in Beijing or in China normal city who grew up like getting educated by 9年义务制教育. They sounded like normal Chinese people that you're gonna go on the street and interview and they're gonna sound like that. But then they are from an alien world and then everything is like slightly... It's weird. Like I watch it, I constantly cannot believe the world they build up in the story. That's one problem with Justice in the Dark. And it's like being very serious about its world, where it feels really weird. when you think about Guardian, like the really crappy Guardian in 2018, it is also a world that's not Earth. Everybody sounded like they're from China, but they're from a different planet, okay? But because it's so rough, the sets look so ridiculous and fake, because it looks so much like a stage play and everybody is so rough and it doesn't have money and lighting is horrible and like all the extras are terrible actors, somehow it cancels out the we are pretending to be really serious about our world setting, but it's completely unbelievable because it's so funny and laughable. Therefore, you almost like don't get bothered by it. Whereas Justice in the Dark is being so serious about their world being real, but it's reads so unreal, and it gets like weird. At least when I watch it, that's how I compute it, is I can't believe the world they live in. It constantly bothers me, the believability of Justice in the Dark. And Guardian, because it's completely ridiculous, so I never needed to believe in it to start with. Therefore, like, it can go as ridiculous as it can, and all those extras are so ridiculously bad. Do you remember the eggplant guy with the purple hair, right? It's so bad to the point that you don't mind it anymore. That's me with Justice in the Dark. Is it unfortunately sits in the position where it's actually not ideal. They could have, like, if they are actually as ridiculous as Guardian, I probably will be better to like swallow it, but it's so serious and being real about it's not being real, and it's weird. I don't know how many people have that feeling, but I always just couldn't get into the world setting of Justice in the Dark. Hu Yixuan, yeah, she's pretty good. I think probably is there's no money backing her up. That's why. I mean, in every drama she's been playing a supporting role. She's better probably in the leading actress. Also, like Dailua, right? This year, because of the Moonlight drama with Bailu, everybody has noticed she's so much better than leading actress. She acts better. She's prettier, and it's like embarrassing to put her next to Bailu, right? And trying to like sell people like Bailu is the lead actress. Come on, holy. It's just embarrassment. But like those type of actresses who are pretty, actually really pretty, who are properly trained, who have a baseline of like acceptable professionalism, but they probably don't have enough whatever backing them up to play the traffic game. So they are just like always the supporting roles. I find Gong Jun at least do yeah, Song Weilong doesn't act. Yeah, that's true. Although their lines are both very bad, and then at least Song Weilong's face occasionally, like Song Weilong's face probably works better with multiple angles shooting, and you don't care much about lighting. So however you light him, he kind of looks good, and you don't have to worry about the angle, like where you put the camera on Song Weilong's face. It's pretty much like everywhere is safe zone. Gong Jun, actually, his face doesn't look good with certain lighting and camera setup. You have to pick angles. You have to use hair style to correct his face. I think his face is not 360 degrees safe. Gong Jun on camera. Song Weilong is better in that department. Hard standard cruel. Okay, but it's just coming from my technicality analyzing brain. I look at them as that, oh my god, it's already 12:30. 3 hours already. We're talking about these things. Talking about things that gets me murdered by his fandom. How many rows in a year is too many? I mean, ask Zhang Wanyi. How many rows in one type of drama, of different dramas and with the same style, is too many? Can you honestly tell the difference between his roles in the one he is with Ren Ming, or with Wang Churan, or with Jing Tian, or with Yang Zi? If you mix and cut them, and you color tune, like you color grade them so that they look the same color, just slightly changing it so that different dramas don't look completely different. Color grade it to the same skin tone, and then intercut between those 4 dramas, Zhang Wanyi leads. You're gonna have to be a dead hard fan of his to have watched every second of those 4 dramas to tell which scene comes from which drama. How many is too many? Not that many, but at some point it will happen and it will make it look ridiculous. Fated General probably is not going to get released because it tempers with real history and real characters, very important historical characters who actually, like, the drama wouldn't actually accurately depict. Historically, this general is badass, legendary, and weird. Because he got famous when he's a teenager, he dies early 20s, and he pretty much got famous and dies, and he's such a legendary military general to the point where you just cannot explain or believe like a 17-18-year-old can be this good at doing what he does. Like, he's only been on Earth for 16-18 years. How does he do it? But he does it, and he does it in ways that is like, maybe he's an alien, right? Like, you can't have a normal human at this age being able to do this much at this genius level, but he did, and then he dies. Like, he's immediately exited from the history, and it's like the whole existence of this person is like a bug of world program. And so he has very interesting stories and backgrounds, and also it's tied into Han Dynasty and Chinese history very deeply. Therefore, like, the thing is, if you screw it up, like, honestly, I think it's better that drama never gets released these days. Like the Zhang Ruoyun, the Fated General drama with Bai Yu and Mao Xiaotong, right, many years ago. Because if you actually are not respecting real history, when it gets released, you're just gonna get more backlash, which is not good for anybody involved in those dramas. Also, superstitiously, extremely important historical figures and extremely important historical events in the world of superstition, they have energy imprint. Those specific people and events, right? They left a very deep mark, and they have their energy imprints. And basically, if you are not major caliber enough, you don't want to play with it. It burns you. It's like if you screw up Qin Shi Huang, it's not gonna end well for you, okay? You screw up portraying extremely important historical figures, you're gonna get not good returns in energy. And it's, I don't know, yeah, you can say it's superstition. But there's a whole wild world, like a whole big world exists beyond your sensory, beyond your eyes, visions can see, ears can hear. There's a lot of things going on that you don't know, so just don't tamper with it. And so for big historical figures, it's a responsibility to do historical stuff and do it properly. If you can, you might as well don't try it. It would be very stupid for you to tamper with it and thinking it's just a drama. Yeah. Yeah, it's 3 hours of fun chatting. We'll just last a couple more minutes and I'll call it. 带路啊, Zhai Zilu. Yeah, they're pretty cute. I like both of them. Zhai Zilu is really interesting. He's like a looking young but feeling old guy. Right? He has this old, from last century, 80s, 70s actors vibe. But then he looks young. And you clearly know he's a young person, but he vibes very much like the... he reminds me of the 70s, 80s Chinese actors. And really, I can't think of another guy who's like this. He's very, very weirdly vibing like an old person from that era. Just the way the person presents himself, the way he looks and the way he sounds is constantly reminding me of old movies of the 80s where... it's just not now. It's like not 2020s people. Like, he vibes very old. Not like he's old man, but he vibes like a generation or two before. Like those actors. Go and search for Qubing. Right, and yeah, he's weird. Like he's like a bug, an accident in history. Very weird, very weird. Way too talented and way too dramatic. And if you actually want to actually make a story that's real to historical record, it will look so much like a made up web novel. That's unbelievable. Everything considered, how he sets up, how he acts. Like you think like he's a very successful young general, therefore he's like Xiao Pingjing, right, in the Varning Fire, but he's not. He's actually quite spoiled. He grew up in this like really, like everything top notch of that dynasty, and he's surrounded by people who are like high above, like powerful uncles and whatever family members. Everything is like top, and he's the type of person who would be in a luxuriously dressed up carriage, lying there eating fruits, and like a spoiled brat, right? And going to battle and then just decimate people. And he can lead armies and on a dark, like a ride for like hundreds and how many miles, like attack people from weird angles nobody see coming. And then he somehow could, without GPS, in the big desert type of places, just come in this like a long ride and then just attack from nobody could see him coming. And how did he do it 2,000 years ago without GPS? Nobody knows. It happened in history. And like this guy is legendary, but then he dies very young. And then it's done. Like he just showed up. It's like almost like showing humanity. Look how cool I could be, right? You didn't expect somebody like me can exist. Well, open your eyes. And then he had a tour on planet Earth and decided, nah, it's enough now. Now it's like I die. So, does not make sense. Like his existence does not make sense, but he's real. So like in that case, unless you can do justice to this character, don't make a drama about him, right? Like he's too weird to be really processed by normal system of human knowledge. But it's pretty epic story. Yeah, so I don't think the 2016 drama, even when it comes out, will really be good enough and do justice to it, so might as well just don't. And then these guys have moved on. Whether it's Bai Yu or Zhang Ruoyun or Mao Xiaotong, right? They have all moved on so much from that. Really, there's no need to air that drama now. Probably only the production company feels bad that they didn't get the money back. Atherton Luoyunxi? Do you mean that Immortality? I don't think it's gonna air. Any of those BL dramas that didn't get aired, right, got made, probably is just not gonna show up. It's just what it is. It's probably not gonna show up anymore. Historical figures? Yeah, well, again, like those videos, when I make them, it's better that I got inspired by what's ongoing with dramas that I can link them into. Because when I talk about that Empress, it's because the drama was airing. And then when there's no good stuff, it just randomly put in one episode of like historical figures. It's just like gonna, I don't know. It's weird on my channel if I do that. And also it never looks good with whatever happens with the statistics. Unless like right now there is a drama that's relevant. And unfortunately we don't have that many good historicals. Oh, before I go today, I wanna tell people, like, if you're watching my channel, right, about something really interesting about Chinese Dramaland that I recently found out. I didn't know this. I only know what happened, but I don't know why it happened until recently. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. So, if you remember back in 2017 and 18, After Yanxi Palace, anybody still remember? 聂远, Wu Jingyan, Qing Lan, that Qing Dynasty Palace drama, Yanxi Palace came out. It was super popular. It was done by Yu Zheng, and he did it the same way that he did many years ago with Gong Palace, which is 步步惊心 was filming, Scarlet Heart, and it's the same type of story. He wrote a version of his own, filmed it at the same time, actually later, and then aired it before. So he aired Gong before Scarlet Heart and got really popular. So that was with Yang Mi and Tong Liya of Palace, and then Scarlet Heart was Liu Shishi aired. So that's the first time that Yu Zheng did it, like businessman, clever. Then he did the same thing with Ru Yi Zhuan, Ru Yi's whatever royal palace love, the Zhou Xun and Huo Jianhua drama. He did the same thing with that drama, which is knowing that a big IP is being made, he did the exact same time period character, but his own version, 延禧攻略, and then chuck it out before, and got a huge, again, a round of whatever. So he's a very clever businessman. After 延禧攻略's success, 如懿传 actually could have aired pretty much at the same time or before, but they were waiting for the license to air it online and on satellite television at the same time, which is a harder license to get instead of only online. So if you get a license for drama airing only online, it's a smaller, basically, license. It gets less of a complicated process, and it can be like happening quicker, which is what Yanxi did. Yanxi wasn't on satellite television. It was only online, and it got the license first. And then 如懿传 didn't want to lose the potential big market they could get if it goes on satellite. Therefore, they were aiming for going on satellite at the same time, and it delayed its airing, and it let 延禧攻略 took all that thing, like first cut of that market, and then it ran into suddenly there is this limit of not allowing you to air on satellite television of this Qing harem fight drama, resulting in eventually it has to get released, but much later, online only, not on satellite television. And then the drama didn't do as well as Yanxi. And then in last year, 2024, it had a new renaissance, a wave of criticism on it. So there were so many Chinese vloggers, whatever, like content creators, analyzing this drama from minute to minute, criticizing about all its decaying values, let's just say. So that's a huge wave of Yanxi, a huge wave of 如懿传 problem that happened even till now. So from last year to now, it's been happening. Now, the thing related to that is why the drama got halted, pulled back from satellite releasing, and only released online. And ever since then, think about it, from 2018 onwards to now, there hasn't been even one Qing Dynasty harem drama. Stop and think. You'll realize there hasn't been one harem fighting Qing Dynasty setting drama since then. The only Qing Dynasty clearly setting drama, there's one that is about like a treasure thing that didn't go anywhere. Nobody watched it. It got released. Then it was last year's 天行健, the hero, with Liu Yuning, Qin Junjie, and Pang Hanchen. Those three guys. And that's not really harem. It's not harem, right? It's other people outside of the book. It only just referred to the court a little bit, but it's not focused on these people. And the story itself is about revolution. It's about actually overthrowing the dynasty from three different characters, three perspectives, four different characters actually from that time period. And arguably all the main characters are revolutionaries, but like some of them do it right, some of them lose their way, right? You remember that that's the last year only Qing Dynasty drama that's like properly set in Qing, but it's end of Qing and it's Mingguo almost coming. And there's another drama that's ridiculous and nobody's watching. It's like a fake whatever thing, treasure thing that like it's weird. I watched a little bit and didn't watch it. Apart from those, almost no Qing Dynasty drama from the end of Yanxi Palace to Ru Yi until now. If you've been following Chinese dramas for that long, you probably stop and think, you'll realize, yes, it hasn't happened. And it's been so many years. 5 years 6 years, 7 years, almost like no Qing dynasty dramas. Do you know why? I recently just found that out. I was like, wow, didn't see that coming. Very interesting. Because around the time of Ruyi Palace drama, there was a huge inside China group that got taken out by Chinese government because they were a secret underground group trying to bring back Manchurian dynasty rule. They are trying to make China imperial again and ruled by the Manchurian people. And this group always existed after the end of the dynasty, beginning of last century, right? They all like, because those people always existed and they passed down it, they hid everywhere. It's like their history traces back to the beginning of whatever, and they've been doing it and they've been hiding everywhere. And it's like around 2018, this group finally got completely rooted out. It's almost like a cult. And then a political, like, we want to make China imperial again, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? Just imagine the French, the beheaded French royal dynasties try to come back and take out the republic. So there is this group, and then they've been around for a long time, and they seep into all kinds of industries, including content creation, including culture. So there are actually people belonging to this organization who's been working in like film, television for years, and then they always want, like, they support projects that romanticizes, beautifies the Manchurian ruling dynasty and the time and the life there. They glorifies the emperors of the time. Like, they support stuff that actually makes it look pretty, basically. And it's been going on for years. And then this group got taken out, like completely found out and rooted and got rid of, right, in 2018. So from 2018 onwards, there's this hidden line in the rules of drama making, which is don't make Mandarin court dramas. You're not gonna get past censorship. And it's because real thing in real life happened. And I'm like, wow. This is a real organization and it has its real name. And that's why in the last 7 years, you don't get any Qing court dramas. Epic, isn't it? I mean, like the dreaming back thing, right? It's dreaming back is honestly, it's like so not serious. I don't think anybody cares about it being like you've watched Dreaming Back, right? Like it can't take it serious. That drama is so much worse than. Like, I don't think you need to worry about it glorifies Qing dynasty. It doesn't. It's like everyone is a moron in that drama. Even the emperors. Like, everybody is a moron. And there's nothing pretty about it. Even, like, the leads look ridiculous in that drama. So Dreaming Back doesn't count. I mean, I think, like, if you make a Qing dynasty drama and you make the court and everybody in it look that stupid and ugly and completely just, like, it's fine. Okay. It doesn't like shed any positive light on it. I don't think anybody takes it seriously. But I think there's a huge reduction of Qing dynasty court drama. Almost you don't see new dramas got filed in the dynasty, hardly any. Like compared to before, like every year you would have multiple dramas like that. And it's been going on for years. And suddenly from 18 to now, it's like most of it is gone. Like you don't see new projects getting filed in this. One of the reasons is that happened. But it's not like a clear rule. It's like no one said it out loud. But then, like the whole industry realized they cannot really file those projects because of and also like you probably don't, even if you are not associated with that group of people. And then you just have a normal Qing dynasty court setting drama, right? At this stage, when this has happened, you would not want to get into this mess. Right? So what does that make you look like? Like, are you affiliated with them when you are actually not? Might as well just go around and do other things. So you suddenly have like more other dynasties, like Ming Dynasty drama suddenly showed up, like previously wasn't that popular. It's just because this thing becomes, like, don't step into it. It's a mess. Like, that actually, I was like, I didn't know that, but oh my god. Okay. I guess interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so it's a pass time now for Qing Dynasty dramas. You probably are not gonna get any new stuff anytime soon. And I guess Tianxinjian came out because it's literally criticizing on imperial dynasty ruling, which is totally fair. You know, that's Chinese history, and it was the thing that was like pulling, like keeping everybody back. So it needs to be gotten rid of. It's like you go to France now and asking anybody, it's like, do you want to go back to like the rules of Louis XVI? Everybody will say, are you crazy? Are you crazy? The only thing I think the French people would just have, like, there are two things the French people have like feeling really good over the English. The first thing is we have better language. The second thing is we have gotten rid of our kings. Right, the French people are the most proud people, and they're the 革命老区. They're the starting point of all the revolutions that later got somewhere else in the world, right? So Chinese people joke about French people being the original place of the revolutions, and so it's just really funny to first is to know that actually these type of people still exist in China these days, of like dreaming about bringing back imperial Qing dynasty ruling. Like, what's the problem with you people? And the fact that it actually affected drama making in this way. Like, probably they were in the business, right, for years, so they've made a lot of Qing dynasty content. and then it stopped. Isn't that interesting? Are you allowed to talk about it? Why not? I mean, this thing is not like very openly known, but if you go, like, if you dig deeper, you probably can find things like online. It's a real thing. Like, it's not like the government is trying to hide it. They got rid of an organization that's trying to topple the government. Like, it's absolutely legit for your government to do that, right? It's like you have an organization within your country that's trying to overthrow your countries. For the government, if it doesn't do anything, that's weird. Yes, I mean, but yeah, you can argue that Napoleon, but then yeah, nobody liked that too, right? He got gotten rid of pretty fast within his lifetime. He did it, and then he got kicked off. So to the French people, right? It's like they've had to, and they're, we've had enough. This is a mess. We don't want that. So Chinese people are like that too. It's just funny. Literally, you go and ask any contemporary Chinese people, is like, if somebody is trying to bring back Qing dynasty, they're all gonna look at you like, what's wrong with you? Like, everybody is gonna go so confused. Everyone is gonna get so confused. And drama, real life drama. Yes, Qing dynasty, real historical Qing dynasty styles are really ugly. Okay, I have to say, I agree. It's really, really bad for both genders. It's bad. No other, like I don't need to find any excuses for it. It is bad overall. From top to bottom, from Han to Qi, from mentoring to the Han people, from the beginning till the end, it just looks bad. Among its emperors, probably only Yongzheng had a little bit of taste in things like making China and look pretty. Other people, like his son, Qianlong is known. It's known historically. Every Chinese person agrees. Like, he is the Zhangzong. He's the person who would put his personal stamp on all famous historical paintings and make things look absolutely horrendously ugly. In terms of the aesthetic department of having elegant taste in beauty, Qing dynasty is one of the worst dynasties we've had in Chinese history. Okay, it's like unanimously agreed. That's like one thing you cannot argue. It's true. Like I say, any of those like things that really puts a sort of correct factual historical lens on things and not glorifies it probably is okay. And also like harem dramas is just too ridiculous and far away from history. In any way you romanticize and make it look good is just actually really irrespectful to real history and the people who have suffered under that system for hundreds of years. If you know actually how harem works in Chinese Qing dynasty court, it's none of those like women's fight story can actually happen in real historical Qing dynasty due to how it's run and operated. So before I go, which I will after I speak this point, and I'll close this, it's been 3.5 hours. In Qing dynasty core dramas, you see all those concubines every day walk around, go to the garden, go to this person's place, sit here, eat, like Zhenhuan go to Duanfei's place, they travel between each other's, they have all the funs. Does not happen. In actual Qing dynasty court, every concubine has its own living place in that sort of unit, right? Whether it's the Yanxi Palace or it's Chuxiu Palace or it's this palace, you cannot get out of that palace without a permit. So you live in there. Every day you have a standard time. You go and pay respect to the empress who lives in her place. You go and you say hello. And you like, it's like a daily daka. It's like you're clock in, clock out. And there's a rule about when you go with whom, and you go there, you do it, you go back. Once you come back, you're gonna stay in your freaking palace. That's it. And if you wanna go out, say, I wanna go to the next door, the other palace and meet another sister, you know, another concubine, we wanna have lunch. You're gonna first write a application, send it to the empress. And you have to state why I want to visit this person, for what purpose, when I'm going to go there, what I'm going to do there, how long I'm going to stay there, and when I'm going to come back. You're going to send this to the empress. The empress will have to say, okay, I say, that is, I sign and I allow, and then you can pay visit to your neighbor in another palace. Otherwise, you're not going to get even out of the threshold of your palace. And that's how it works in actual Qing dynasty harem. It is basically prison. You go in, you become a prisoner for the rest of your life, okay? Now, imagine you have that role set up. How do you even gongdou? You can't even see the person, okay? You can't even meet them. And everything you do is recorded and it's being signed off by the empress. The only person you can look trouble for probably is the people who live in the same palace. So like it's not one woman in one palace. There are multiple rooms and there are probably 3-4 people, like even more, like living in the same place. If you are in this palace, you probably can make some drama against the other person who lives in the same palace. Okay, you don't get out of the, but you can do it to people like just like next door. Like it doesn't work. So imagine if you actually live in Qing dynasty harem, you are actually a prisoner, and then you really don't have much freedom to go anywhere. And without that, you don't have phone call, you don't have Telegram, you don't have TikTok, you have no internet. How are you even gonna make waves? Every meeting you have with another person is on record. You can't even like all the dramas, like I sent my servant's maid girl who made some food to another palace concubine and give it as like dessert. Does not happen. Like, there's no way of it ever happening. It does not happen. Every food you get is from the imperial kitchen, right? They decide what you have every day. They bring it to your place. You don't go and send stuff around. So that's how it actually operates. I mean, so if you are actually factual about Qing dynasty court, no drama will be happening. You can only do it within your little tiny palace, right? And yeah. And so think about that. So basically any form of harem drama is actually already idealizing it. The fact that you can actually get out of your palace and do anything, right? Because literally you can. So So in a way, if you have harem drama, it almost is always making it look prettier than it actually is. This is Qing dynasty, okay, for sure, and because there's a record of how it operates. Before that, you have to look into historical records about different dynasties. It varies hugely. Different time have completely different ways of doing it, and every dynasty and every particular probably king or empress rule can differ from each other. But anyway, that should end this chat. It's 3 hours and a half and it's too long. And thank you for coming to this live stream. Hope it's interesting. And I'll try to time code this, although I have no idea whether I can do it. Because again, we went everywhere. And some of the parts of this live chat I probably don't want the people to find. I want it to get lost in the ocean of data online. Okay, so hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good wherever you are. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and I'll see you in my next video, Saturday, weekly video stuff. And then let's hope we can get a couple of more good dramas this month. So far, right now, I'm just like really like not having fun with anything ongoing. It's disappointing. So let's hope some good dramas can come up. Please take care. I'll see you. Bye.